All right, I'm going live right now, guys, by the way.
Roger, Roger.
All right, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I'm Team Skeptic, and we just started this show just to start it because, well, just shitty things are happening right now. And not like shitty things, but like, God, man. I went outside just now about fucking 5 minutes before the anticipated start time, only to find out that my car had been broken into while I was, taking a nap today. So, um, it doesn't look like they stole anything important, but hey, that's great. Somebody fucking broke into my car. Yay! How fucking awesome is that? How you trust people that live around you, and then it's always happens for people,
Yeah.
someone that lives in your neighborhood, someone lives close. Nobody ever drives 20 miles away to go break into somebody's car. So, it's unfortunate, but all right. But we're gonna have a good show tonight. We have Fight the Flat Earth. How are you doing tonight, sir?
Doing good, doing very good. Riding my high from demolishing Anthony Riley last night. I don't think there is any way anybody who watched the debate last night can even think Riley had a passable performance. He was terrible, absolutely terrible. He had no evidence for anything he said. He just argued about definitions and was wrong about all of them. And I've been getting messages from flat earthers even saying how badly he did last night. So I'm riding
Yeah.
that high at the moment. So all good.
Nice, nice. And tonight we do have a guest of honor. Well, hey, I don't know if we're gonna say guest of honor. He's been here quite a bit already, so just a returning guest, somebody who everybody seems to know by now. Mr. Spurs, how you doing, Spurs Chemo?
Good evening, Team Skeptic. How are you?
Yeah, I'm doing good. Other than the broken into the car shit. And I don't know. I now my nose is stopped up. I mean, it's just one of those things, Everything's kind of fucking hitting me at the same time. But we're here tonight, so all that doesn't matter. We're gonna have a good time.
Excellent, excellent.
Yeah,
Oh, and
Spurs have got some
Craig.
new
uh,
evidence, team.
Oh, nice. You have actual evidence this
Yeah.
time, Spurs?
Well, he called
Well,
it
I mean,
proof
it
yesterday. It
depends.
didn't. Wasn't the way
I
you
would call
described
it
it yesterday
proof.
to me, Spurs? Was you said it was absolute 100% proof that the Earth is flat? That was your
Absolute
words, right?
proof.
All
Right.
right.
Yeah,
Cool.
I mean, it's absolute
I'd
proof.
love to see
And
team's response to
we,
that.
we kind of went
Yeah.
over it yesterday, the other day, a little bit. We can review some of that today. So yeah, I mean, what we're gonna try and do today is look at your belief versus my belief, and we're going to look at how they're pretty much similar in terms of a religious idea. Because I believe in a creator, which is logical because we can't have things just pop into existence without a creator. And I'm going to try and we're going to try and outline that you guys also have the same, but you don't have any logical justified reason to believe these things. It's literally based on made up ideas that have been tried to squeezed or pushed together. So yeah, we can look at that and try and separate the two and see if one is fact and one is religion, or if they are both an idea that just comes from thin air, right?
Okay.
Cool. Can I ask one quick question then to start it off? Give me proof of your creator or any evidence.
Proof of a creator.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean say proof of a creator? Do you mean get the creator actually in front of you?
Yeah, no,
Uh,
yeah, get the guy who
Well,
created the universe to come down to my house and knock on my front door and perform a miracle in front of me. And when
so
he's at it,
okay.
he can remove the multiple sclerosis from my little sister.
So Spurs. So whenever I whenever I start to learn to learn about something, excuse me. So let's say we're talking about like gravity, right? I don't just buy into what the person in front of me says because it matches what I already want to believe. I try to hold that off. In fact, I try to be aware of that as much as possible so I can stay away from that, my self bias, my self confirmation or my confirmation bias. So what I do is I always look at the evidence and I try to say, is this plausible? Why did they get to this conclusion? What was the scientific experiment in front of that led to this conclusion or to this discovery? And then you go back and you look, and it's a chain of evidence, okay? You can go back and you can look and you can see all these experiments that have been done. And what they do is they eliminate the need for guessing or the need for a God to fill in for the explanation. So when people say, you know, you can't create something out of nothing without God, yeah, sure, that was a plausible belief to hold in the 1800s or the 1700s. But now we're at a bit different stage in physics where we understand a little bit more than we did 200 years ago. So we don't need to have a God to explain how, you know, how things have come to existence. The CMB is a good thing. We see evidence of a creation, like of the creation of the universe. We see evidence of that. None of that evidence of the creation of the universe, or at least as far back as we can go, none of that evidence that we have requires us to have anything supernatural. Everything's explainable by understood physics. So for you to just throw it out and say, no, we're not going to take those physics into account, we need to just assume that there was a God before. Where you stop, Team Skeptic, where you stop at the CMB or at, I think it's 10 to the negative 13 seconds that we can go back in time. We have evidence for that to support going all the way back that far in time. You're the only time in my viewpoint that I need something supernatural to happen is beyond 10 to the negative 13 seconds. And that's simply because physics hasn't been able to explain and demonstrate their understanding of that knowledge yet. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to have that 100 years from now. 100 years from now, no. We might be going all the way down to 10 to the 31 seconds, negative 31 seconds. I mean, it's just it's a progression of science. It has to start somewhere, and it is always going to progress forward. Go ahead, Spurs. I'm sorry. Don't mean to diatribe there.
What's the question? Where are we at now?
Well, I'm just making the observation that we don't need a God to explain what we have. Why do you feel like there's a need for a God to explain what you have? And also, you don't have any evidence for God, but we have evidence for our beliefs. We believe in science. If you want to call it a belief, then it's a belief in science. It's a belief that the repetitive nature of science does actually tend to lead towards towards new scientific discoveries and repetitive experiments and predictions.
But if I could cut in for a second, team, for me, I don't personally see it as a belief, in as much as I don't believe that 1 + 1 is 2. That's just a fact. I don't need to have a belief about the things that I say because there is evidence to back it up. So yeah, you can call it a belief in as much as we all believe that, you know, the square root of pi is 1.7725. That's a fact. But I suppose you could call it a belief, but belief isn't really required for our side of the argument.
Yeah.
Would you agree with that?
Okay, so, well, are we clear now that we both have an idea that neither can be satisfactorily demonstrated?
Not at all.
So I would say I would say that it's intelligent design, and you would say it's a natural phenomena, i.e., you would say matter created matter or nature created nature. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you're saying that nature created itself. Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's kind of hard to that statement's not entirely true. We just don't know what happened before then. I'm not prepared to guess at it and just assume that there was a creator there because I don't yet have the information to discredit the creator. So, or to validate him. I choose not to assume anything without evidence. Everything we have so far points to evidence up to 10 to the negative 13 seconds. Everything beyond that is pretty much an extrapolation of our modern physics, you know, to get as close as we can to the point of creation. At some point, the universe was created. We know this due to the, you know, Hubble expansion constant and you know, other observations that we made.
Was the universe created by matter?
Well, right, no, Spurs. The thing is, the universe wasn't just created. Every bit of matter and energy that's in the universe now was there at the beginning. Right? Nothing was just created. It all existed. All the energy that was required for everything in the universe to be as it is now existed at the beginning of time, at that point of singularity. That was all there. It's just the expansion of that energy and then the cooling down of the universe to allow electrons to attach to protons and stuff that gives us a timeline of the universe. Nothing was just created out of nothing. Everything was already there. It was just in an infinitesimally small point of space-time that then expanded.
So you're saying
because of
nature
whatever pressures.
So nature created itself, is what you're saying?
No,
I'm saying that it always existed.
Yes. So
Yeah, so nature always existed, and then it created the Big Bang, is what you're saying.
Well, we're not. No. Okay. So we're not making a claim that something very specific started the universe. That's not on us to make that claim. We don't have the scientific evidence to support that yet. But what we do is we don't make a claim that is based on just, something to fill in what we don't know already. That's not what we're going to do. That's not
But
what
we're
science
using logic.
does.
We're using logic. Remember, team and
but
fight the flag. We're using logic. So
Our
it's logical.
our logic is limited to our experience, though. So what we may think is
so we know-
supernatural may not be supernatural after all.
Yes, but we know that matter cannot create itself, because that would mean it existed prior to its existence.
Well, we're not saying that matter created itself. When you look at Einstein's equation, E equals mc squared, which has been experimentally verified as a real thing, energy is matter. You literally, energy converts to matter. When there's a certain amount of energy, it converts to matter. That's an experimentally demonstrated fact about the universe. E equals mc squared. You can't deny that fact. So nothing was ever created. Everything that is needed for the universe to be as it is today was always there. It's as simple as that. Every atom that's in your body at the moment has always been there.
So you're saying it was infinite? Because
No,
absolute beginning.
What
The
we're
absolute
saying
beginning
right now,
had a finite time ago, Craig. You're
okay,
saying it was an infinite time ago, or not
No,
even
well,
time.
we
You're
can
just saying it was
tra-
infinite.
No, we can
So
trace
again, we're
back
going by
to
logic.
the
So
beginning.
you have a religious.
Wait,
can
let,
you
let, let me
accept
let me
that
answer that
it's
question a
religious?
sec. Let me
Okay.
answer that question a sec, Spurs. We can
Sure.
trace it back to the beginning of the universe, to the point of the singularity, like Team said. To I think it's actually 10 to the negative 31 seconds is when we can literally trace back time to that point after the universe. So for all we know, the universe that we exist in has a finite time, but we don't know what happened before that. There could have already been an expansion and a contraction that happened before this universe existed.
Yeah,
We
but
don't
you're
know.
getting into
that
the.
is pure
Remember,
speculation.
okay,
Yeah, this is. But what I'm telling you, everything I've said is not speculation. We cannot have matter
No, it
creating
is.
matter. We need
No,
a creator
but
outside of the
Spurs,
matter.
Spurs,
I can't even
you're
speak. I've
okay.
not said more than So I'm saying
Go
that
ahead,
we
go
can't
ahead.
have. We've got to have a different kind of substance, you might call it, than matter, if you can even call it that, to create the matter in the first place. Otherwise, you would have matter creating matter. Now, my proof for a creator is information, code. Software is only ever caused by an intelligent agency, without exception. So whenever we find information existing and trace it back to its source, it invariably leads to an intelligent agent every single time. For example, again, I'm going by what we know. Libraries, books, newspapers, language, computer software, the information age. So if you were to cry foul and say, "Oh, there's no information or code," you are done for, basically, because DNA has two types of digital information, as you just brought up: the gene that encodes proteins, which are the molecular machines of life, and the gene of regulatory networks that specify the behavior of genes. I can cite you from Hood, Gallus, Nature, 2003.
But my question is why do you make the assumption that must have a creator? Yet you just said that we have speculation. We get to a point where we have to speculate things and then immediately follow that with speculation of a creator. It's kind of hypocritical for you to judge us for any speculation whatsoever, and to turn around and speculate a God just because your limited understanding as a human being in the universe requires you to need a God to explain certain events.
It's not limited. It's not limited.
No, we are limited. Well, we are limited, Spurs. You and me in fight, we are limited. We're human beings. We're only so far in the technological age. Think of it like this. We're less limited than people 100 years ago. They were more limited by their technological advancements. So the further we go into the future, the more we're going to unlock better and better technology. And a lot of these questions that you're asking are going to be able to be explained by science.
Can you show me information? Can you show me information or code without a creator ever in our existence?
Yeah, information on the outside of a black hole, the holographic principle.
The
what are you talking about?
Cosmic microwave background radiation.
Yeah, Hawking radiation. The
that's
the
all
conserving.
That's all part. That's all part of the creation. What are you talking about?
No, it's not. What are you talking? What are you talking
Spurs,
about?
What about the Fibonacci sequence? I've got plants in my house that follow the Fibonacci sequence. No creator was needed for that to happen.
Who designed the Fibonacci sequence?
Nature.
Aha.
It's
math.
Energy.
It's mathematical.
Yeah. No. Spurs,
Who invented
Spurs,
1 + 1 = 2?
Nature designed.
But the thing
are you serious?
Right, Spurs. The thing about the Fibonacci sequence is it's an energy efficient way to be. Right, the reason why plants have that Fibonacci sequence in their leaves and stuff is because it's an energy efficient way.
I have a citation from mathematics MIT that information is information, neither matter nor energy. Weiner, cybernetics or control communications with animal and the machine, and the Technology Press, Paris, 1948. Where is your citation to support that, Craig?
It's an energy. The maths supports what I'm saying. The Fibonacci sequence is an energy efficient way for something to be. The math shows that that's the case.
Spurs, let me ask you a question. Does pi exist? Real simple question.
Pi?
No.
Who created pi?
Dude, no, that's not the question. The question is, does pi exist?
And if it does, because you've just
no,
because you've just created it.
No, it doesn't. It's a ratio between the circumference and the diameter. Hold on. It's a ratio between. It's a ratio between a circle and a diameter. A circle is just defined as a geometric shape. The circumference has a length. Because we can measure it. The circumference has a length. The diameter has a length, and the ratio between that will always be pi.
Anyway, look, I've won that point. Okay, so I've just
hold on. What do you mean? No, you have not won a point. Spurs. You have not won. No, we're not going to move on. You speculated that there's a creator. We need to address that speculation. You say it's not speculation.
I want to get into the flat Earth. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I mean, I can understand that. I can understand talking flat Earth because it's something more physical. But I fundamentally disagree with everything you're saying here. And just because you say you've won that point does not necessarily mean that you've won that point. It just means
I've just shown that information needs a creator. You're just now
you have asserted.
No, it doesn't, though.
You have asserted that information needs a creator. You have not proven that. Big difference.
No, it's impossible to have information without a creator because you've just designed whatever you've just told us.
And that's called an argument from ignorance.
Tell me about Spurs. Yeah, Spurs, tell me, who created the spin of an electron?
Who says it spins?
And that information.
It does.
It does.
It's an intrinsic property of an intrinsic property of fucking of electrons.
And when you quantumly entangle two electrons, no, listen, right? Wait, hold on. When you quantumly entangle two electrons, the information can be transferred from one electron to the other regarding the direction of spin. Who designed that?
Again, where did you get this information from? That's the point. It always has a source.
It's
A
experimental. It's an
You
experimental
said
fact.
the word
Yes.
fact. Again, where did you get that information from? Can you always go on like this? Anything you know is information. That's why I've won this point. Can we move on to
Yeah,
the
but that
next
doesn't
point?
mean
Hold on.
information is created.
So hold on. Do we have to actually literally go through every single experiment that ever fucking discovered anything? Like electron spin is a fundamental property of electrons. Okay. There's no arguing whether they spin or not. They spin. This is scientifically and experimentally proven beyond any shadow of a doubt. Creator, no creator, doesn't matter. Electrons have spin. That's just that. So go ahead.
And they would
Kurt.
have spin. They would have spin for a reason.
It's an intrinsic
Not just
property
random.
of electrons. Yes, they have spin.
Yeah, for a reason, not just random.
What's the reason?
And what's the reason?
But what? Why do they? What are they doing? Where do you
No,
see them spinning?
I'm asking you. What's the reason? You just said they have a reason.
Well,
that they
first of
spin.
all,
What's
you
the reason?
just said. Well, I don't know. Where do we see them spinning?
I didn't say. Oh my god! I didn't say that they spin for a reason. They just spin.
I said that.
It is
I asked
an
you where-
intrinsic property of electrons. They spin.
I'm not
You
arguing
send them-
that.
Okay. So, well, you just
I'm
did. You
saying-
just said how.
No,
do
I
we
didn't.
Okay. So what?
I said,
then
where
what-
do we see this? And I can tell you why they are doing
And
what they're doing.
experimentally, anytime you run, oh my god, experimentally, you have to account for an electron spin. Okay, this is a
I'm not
quantum
arguing.
mechanical property
I'm not
of
arguing
an
this,
electron.
Steve.
Okay,
Steve, I'm
so
not
what is your?
arguing. I believe
Okay.
you. I'm
All right.
saying, show me where this is in action, and I will tell you why it's doing it.
Okay,
Where?
Look at
Where?
your hands.
Show me
There's
where.
electrons in the atoms on your hand. They have spin.
Okay, so let me
electrons
pull up
in my
an
hand spin.
Hold on, I'm gonna pull up an experiment that involves electron spin to show you what the difference between a spin up, spin down electron is. Literally, when you run an electron through a magnetic field, okay, it's going to deflect in one of two directions, and only one of two directions. It's never
No,
going
but
to go
where?
straight. It'll
Where?
always go up, and one will always go up, or it will always go down. It's just an intrinsic property of an electron. They just spin. They don't have a reason for spinning. No one goes and spins every electron as they come into an existence or as they attach to a
Everything
nucleus.
has a reason.
No, that's
Everything
your
has a
assertion. How do you know that? Where's your proof that everything has a reason?
You don't prove things, you disprove things, skeptic. What's wrong with you?
Oh, please
Okay.
tell Sleeping Warrior that. Please tell Sleeping Warrior that.
So, what is the basis for your assumption that you just made that everything has a reason? Okay, fine. Hey, you know what? I got it for you, Spurs. Explain the Casimir
do
effect.
prove things,
Hold on.
but in your
Explain the
world,
Casimir
you
effect.
prove
Explain the Casimir effect. There's no reason for the Casimir effect to be to exist. We just experimentally predicted and proved it. Oh no, the Casimir effect is an
You've got to calm
absolute.
down a little bit. You've got to
I'm
calm
not
down.
mad,
Instead-
Spurs.
instead of
I'm
just-
not mad. What
yeah,
are you
instead of
talking
just
about? I'm
say-
not
yeah, but-
angry. You're
Well,
not
this
gonna
is
you're
what
not
it's
gonna
about.
throw me off by trying to say, "Oh, calm down." I'm not mad. So here's the thing: the Casimir effect exists. There's
I'm not
no
allowed to speak
reason.
then. You-
There's no reason for it to exist, but it exists. Explain
I'm
that.
asking you. I haven't disagreed with you once. Not once have I disagreed. I've asked you, where is it? I believe
mean?
you. Just
What do
show
you
me
mean,
what
where
you're
is it?
talking about, and I will tell you why.
Okay, give me a
For
second.
goodness sakes, man! I'm not disagreeing with you. What do you have so we can
Spurs,
look at it?
What do you want us to show you? Do you want us to show you an experiment that involves electron spin?
No,
You want me
I
to
want
show
you
you
to
an
show me.
what you want us
experiment
to-
involving the Casimir effect?
Yeah, show me that, and I'll tell
Well,
you
no-
why it's doing it.
Okay.
I mean, you're
All right,
certain
well-
it's doing it.
Yeah, okay, so I'm going to explain it first, and then I'm going to show it to you after we explain it, okay? So you can have an
Okay.
idea of what you're
Okay.
looking at, and then I'll grab the source material while you have any questions. Okay, you have two plates. First off, we assume that there are virtual particles in the universe, okay? Virtual particles that have no effect on me and you. They simply come into existence, go out of an existence. They exist in a wavelength, okay? So each particle that comes into existence is associated with a wavelength. If you take two plates and you put them in the same area and then you begin moving them closer to each other, you start limiting the area at which some wavelengths can exist. So let's say you have a wavelength that's 1 nanometer and you bring the two plates to 1/2 of a nanometer apart from each other. Well, now, because those plates are so close, anything with 1 nanometer can't fit within that area. So because these particles can exist outside of the plates, but can exist inside of the plates, there was a predicted force that would push the plates together. And sure enough, experimentally, we showed it to be true. Now, there's no reason for this to happen. The Casimir effect is just simply a consequence of being able to manipulate the universe to get pressure excuse me, an additional pressure on the outside pushing harder than the pressure on the inside pushing outward. It's predicted.
Okay,
There's no
again,
reason for that. Okay,
I'm not doubting you. I want to see it.
You just said, okay, here. I'm pulling up the, give me one side. Everything I pulled up was had a, what's it called? Like a clear background. So let me get one that doesn't have a clear background that I can show. And then, as I show this picture, I'm going to pull up the actual experiment so that way you can also get a reference to the experiment. So give me 1 second, Spurs.
No worries, no worries. I think because I don't want to labor too much on this point here, because, like I say, information.
Can I just clarify some? Sorry, go on.
Okay, sure. No, carry on. It's fine.
I just wanted to clarify the point that you said. You agree that science doesn't prove things, right?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, not entirely. No, I did say that, yes, but not entirely though. But I will, for the sake of the argument. Well, for the sake of the argument, we can go down this path where we have to disprove our claims. I'm willing to do this, absolutely.
Okay, cool. Right.
And I'm going to show you how.
Just tell Sleeping Warrior that'd be great.
No, because Anthony is right. We prove things with the scientific method, right? But obviously, in the heliocentric paradigm, which I was trying to explain to Rumpus, this is the way you would go about disproving your hypothesis. Which is, we're going to do that tonight, though, as well. We're going to disprove our hypothesis. So we're going to show how it is possible and can be a positive for the flat Earth. Even though we don't like this method at all, one bit. But I understand it, so we can work with it. I mean, it's difficult to debunk something if you don't understand it. So, for example, Einstein, a lot of globe earthers don't understand the Einsteinian gravity, Newtonian. So obviously you can get away with it, Craig, by saying, oh, yes, well, they're the same. We make the same calculations. Well, yeah, I understand. Of course you would. And I'll explain why as well. So, yes, and I will explain why.
You do understand that Einstein and Newton were literally the same, and everything you guys say about Einstein and Newton is wrong. Like literally, Spurs, you cannot say that globers don't understand something when we are the ones with the scientific background. I have studied physics. I have studied the relationship between Newton and Einstein. Newton and Einstein described the exact same thing. They were talking about the same thing. There is no exclusivity between them. That is a fact, and you need to accept it.
I do accept that, yeah. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to find out what the fundamental difference between the two.
Riley, then.
No, again, these ideas are very difficult to conceptualize, especially if it's something you outright just don't believe to be true. So you kind of have to go into, like I say, your paradigm, figure out exactly what you guys are talking about. And yeah, I appreciate the fact that Einstein and Newtonian are closely related. And they can look almost exactly the same, but there is a slight difference. We'll go into after team here as give us our demonstration.
I'm just
So okay,
make sure Riley hears you saying those things.
The Casimir effect or the Casimir force is what it would appear in our reference frame, but the Casimir effect was experimentally proven for the first time in 1997. And it was, and I've got the actual experiment here. I'll share this in the, chat real quick first, so that way they can follow along. And then I'll send it in our chat as well, so you can see for yourself, Spurs.
Yeah.
Can I just say, Try Thinking is in the chat, but is far too scared to actually talk to Team Skeptic. Try thinking. You're a little
Spurs,
pussy.
Spurs, tell
Hey,
Bev to
Bev.
come in here. Tell Bev to come in here, man. Tell him we're not gonna fucking bite. He should know this by now.
I'm sure people.
All right, so I just shared the document. It's not the actual experiment paperwork, like the experiment that was turned in for scientific review. It's just talking about the experiment as it was performed.
Uh-huh.
If you need me to grab the actual scientific papers, I'm sure I could grab several scientific papers.
No,
'Cause
you do
the
know
Casimir
I
effect.
don't accept. Go on. But I don't accept
go ahead.
cartoons. But this is just your explanation, right?
Yeah. No, I sent in the internal chat. You should see a link to the original experiment in 1997 that was performed. It's not the paper that
gonna
was
put it
written
on-
on it. Well, I can put it on screen too. Give me 1 second. I just sent it to you in the
Your claim. If you want me to debunk your claim, understand your claim, I've got to know exactly what it is you're talking about, right?
the Casimir effect. It has no purpose. There's no reason for it to exist. We just say the prediction was made that vacuum energy exists. Okay, that vacuum, that the deepest, darkest, coldest places in space are not empty. Okay, no matter what anybody thinks and what anybody tells you, they're not empty. They have this intrinsic property to it that's because of virtual particles that come into existence and out of existence. All right, so we needed a way to test this, and somebody came up with an idea to say, hey, well, let's limit the number of wavelengths on the inside of the plate, giving more wavelengths on the outside of the plate. The prediction that was made was that the reduction of wavelengths on the inside of the plate will reduce the outward force, causing the plates to slowly come together. And that's what was observed in 1997, the validation of that theory. Now, you were saying that energy, matter, and all this has a purpose, has a reason. What was the reason? We took something that was purposeless to us and manipulated it so that we could detect whether it was actually there or not. And we were able to detect it.
Okay,
And we
you're gonna
can
show
detect it
me
every
how-
time we do the experiment.
Again, I'm not doubting you. You seem like good guys. So can you show me something other than a drawing, illustration, and you just telling me this to be the case? Because what I'm going to show you that the Earth is flat. I'm not going to just show you a photo. Go on.
This comes from physicsworld.com. Thermal Casimir force seen for the first time. That is the
How was it
actual.
discovered? How and why was it discovered?
It says right because there was no reason for it to be discovered. Someone made a prediction beforehand, and someone said, "Let's test this prediction out. We can test this prediction out by limiting the number of virtual particles that are on the inside between the two plates versus the outside, relative to the outside. If this happens, you would have less force pushing from the inside of the plates outwards than you have from the force pushing. Yeah.
Can we just stop it right there? Because you're saying we have information, language here, something of like symbols, and you don't understand what it's saying, so you're dismissing it as no reason. That's what Napoleon did in Egypt when he saw the hieroglyphs and the Sphinx, and he said,
Spurs,
well, this isn't a language. This doesn't make any sense. I'm going to destroy. The point is, because you don't understand the reason for it, you don't understand what it's saying to you, you're saying, well, it has no reason, therefore I can dismiss it. That's not how science works. You have to look for what the information is telling.
No, Spurs,
right, so that has
stop. You're putting words in
information.
our mouth there. No, Spurs, you're
What?
putting
I'm saying
words in
that has
our mouth. We're not
information.
saying
What?
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that the
You're saying that that's
was
there for no
created
reason.
by
I'm
anything.
saying that that has a reason. It has information there. It's trying to tell you something. If the scientists had half a brain, they would know what it says. Now, you can't just say to me,
You seem to know,
we
though.
don't know what
You
it
seem to know. What is it? What is the meaning then? Why did God
Well, I
put
don't
that information there that's totally useless to us, that was just predicted? Okay, it just said, well, look, if what we believe to be true, okay, we should have this effect should be there. We should, even though we don't see it with our eyes, we don't touch it with our hands, it offers nothing to our existence, our reality, anything that you or me or fight will ever do, but it exists. Now, that was the assertion, right? The assertion was this exists out there. Well, we can't just accept that when someone says, yes, virtual particles exist, they do. You can't see them. They only exist for an instantaneous moment of time, but they exist. Well, then I would say, if I just believe that, that would be supernatural to me. But then someone goes, no, it is natural. It's not supernatural. Here's the experiment that we can do to prove it. Okay? Here is a prediction we can make. Let's set it up and see if our prediction holds. Sure enough, according to this thing, the prediction of the prediction of the Casimir force, the Casimir effect, it was visually and observably and testably proven, and it matched our predictions. We were able to show that the virtual particles do in fact exist in our universe, even though they have no effect on me and you whatsoever.
Okay. I mean, again, that's not really demonstrating or proving anything. You've given me a very good explanation of how you think this piece of information is giving us, knowledge, or not giving us knowledge, so to speak, in your case. But I'm sure if people were to look at this and decipher what's being said, it wouldn't take that long to do so.
Well, they did.
Anyway,
they did, and it matched exactly what we predicted. Okay, that's the difference between making a prediction about God and hoping God comes through and performs your.
No, God doesn't work like that. You don't know how God works.
Right.
God,
But the universe does work like that. When we say that the universe has virtual particles in it, and this is the experiment that we should be able to run to detect these virtual particles. Okay, if at any time we run that experiment properly and do not detect the virtual particles, that means that theory is wrong. See,
can we move?
Go ahead.
Come on, because this is not. Can we move on now to the globe and to flat Earth?
Yeah, we can move on to whatever.
This is not interesting.
I was making the comment because you were saying that a God must be present for energy to exist, and that's not. No, you didn't win that point.
True,
you just made the assertion.
You've just given me information. You are the source telling me that it's just random. You've created this scenario, and obviously, further investigation would find that your creation could be right, could be wrong, but information is there to be read. You can't get away from that.
Well, energy is information. Okay, so there's no way of getting around that either. I mean, energy is information. You still have not proven that a God or a creator must be there for the energy to exist. Why?
Show me information without an author.
I just did the Casimir effect.
Yeah, the creator obviously
the spin of
created that.
Okay, spin of electrons.
An assumption.
Intrinsic properties.
You're making an assumption of a creator.
No. We need to go. Let's go to the globe now. It's been an hour now, right? On religion.
It hadn't been an hour. But okay, we'll go. We'll do whatever. Tonight we'll talk about anything you feel comfortable talking about, and I'll let you direct the conversation. So, would you prefer to leave this topic and move to the globe?
Yeah. I mean, let's put that to one side. So, right, we're going to try and we're going to presuppose the globe. We're going to try and falsify the heliocentric model. Right, so we're going to try and our hypothesis is that we see ships disappear. The cause is physical Earth. We're going to presuppose that it's spinning. All of these things, right? That's what we believe. Yeah.
Okay.
You believe the Earth is a globe, right, team?
Yeah, sure I do.
Right. So how are we going to go around falsifying this idea that the Earth is a radius of 3959?
Well, we have pictures from space. So there you go.
Those pictures from space came from a place and that violates physics. So let's try and falsify again.
Wait, what? No, the only way that a picture can be taken. Yeah, the only way that these pictures can be taken from the place that they're being taken from is because they follow the laws of physics, not because they violate the laws of physics. Like, just because I take a picture from a distance doesn't mean I can't use that picture because I'm at a different place. It's not physics anymore. No, that's not how it works.
So again, we can't use those so-called images. We don't know if they're paintings. We don't know if they are CGI
No, we do.
computers graphics.
We
If
do.
you're
You need to
How
making
do
the
we
verify
know
them.
that?
claim, if you're making the claim, or even an assumption that they are
I didn't make a
paintings,
claim. I said, how do we? It's a question. How do we know they're not just paintings? We don't know that, do we? Or do we? How do we know this?
Yeah, okay, we do. Right, right. Let's talk about the image that I am showing right now, the 1972 Blue Marble. This was taken with a physical camera, a Hasselblad camera with an 80mm film. The negatives were then taken and developed in a darkroom, physically. The negatives for it still exist. That was physically
No,
taken
again,
on a physical camera. So it's not
again.
a painting. It's not CGI. It existed before computer graphics of that kind. There is no way that you can say this picture is not real.
Okay, so again, there's so many violating factors in this image here that completely
Name
break
one.
science apart. So you've got the
Name
gas
one.
pressure there. I'm about to explain it now, if you let me. The gas pressure on that Earth there is without a container.
it
So
doesn't need
No,
one.
it's
gas,
not.
all the
Spurs, I've told you before, you're wrong, okay? It's not without a container. Energy is required
hold
to
on, let
escape
me
the acceleration
look,
that,
listen.
that
Look,
exists.
you made
If you're going to make a
Craig,
claim,
you've
I'm
made
gonna refute the claim. You've just claimed
yeah, but
that
I'm going to back it
that it
up.
needs a physical container.
All right.
But I'm going to
Go
back
on
it
then,
up.
try.
Let's do
You
one
don't let me
point at a
finish
time.
first.
Spurs. I'm gonna turn it over to you, Spurs. But let's do one point at a time. Let's start with gas pressure, and before we move on to the next point, okay? I know you're
Right, so
not trying to, but I just want to say let's be sure that
leave
all of
this
us stick
image
to
on the
one point.
screen now, yeah?
Not a
Leave
problem.
this image.
Okay.
This is a
Spurs,
great image
it's on
to
you, man.
analyze.
I'm
Right?
gonna kick it over to you and let you make your argument, and then Fight
Right,
and
so
I will discuss
let's
that.
think
Go
about
ahead.
this now. Let's think about this. We've got all that gas around that ball, and then around that
Mm-hmm.
ball we have the void, the vacuum of space. So what you've got is really high pressure on that ball next to really low pressure in the space of vacuum.
No, you don't.
So even if,
Hold on,
even
Craig. Let him
if
finish.
you, even if there was a gradient gradually going up to the Kármán line, so to speak, look how much area we have of low pressure. Some of the numbers, I haven't quite revised the numbers, the minus 2 and all those things, 10 to the minus 2, all those things. But I'm sure there are some more well-versed flat earthers who could give you those actual details. But again, just in any experiment without having to know all the numbers, you could try to replicate what you see here. You could take a giant vacuum chamber, for example. You could take a spherical object and put that spherical object in the middle of the vacuum chamber, pour water, put gas around the ball, and everything would fly off the ball, Craig and team. So this here, for me, absolutely refutes everything we know
Okay,
about science.
I can prove
Go
that's
ahead,
wrong
Fight.
right
Go ahead,
now.
Fight.
Right. So
Hey,
first of all,
Spurs,
you
Spurs, do me a favor. Let Fight answer the question, and then I'll give you a full time to respond to it. Okay?
Sure, I won't say a word.
First of all,
Thank you.
First of all, Spurs, you made the claim there is a high pressure next to a low pressure. No, not anywhere on Earth does that exist. There is 14.7 psi. That is next to 14.6 psi. That's next to 14.5 psi. That's next to 14.4 psi. And that continues all the way up. There is no point at all where there is a high pressure next to a low pressure. However, if you look at this video I am about to bring up,
And your full screen, Craig.
this is a vacuum chamber, okay? A vacuum chamber inside of a nuclear reactor, right? Now, the vacuum chamber is 10 to the negative 11 torr, so pretty much a perfect vacuum. Now, you see that blue band that's around there, right? That's a high pressure area. That is an extremely high pressure area of plasma, ionized gas. Extremely high. That's what that blue band is. And it is sitting right next to the 10 to a negative 11 torr with no physical container between the two of them. That is exactly what you have been asking for all this time. High pressure, right next to a low pressure. However, it's irrelevant because you are wrong. There is no high pressure next to a low pressure on Earth. So do you want to retract that claim?
Absolutely not. That experiment, if you can call that an experiment, there is surrounded by a container. If you were to remove the container, your entire
No, you said a vacuum.
your
No, Spurs, you said a vacuum chamber. You are the one that said a vacuum chamber. I am showing you a vacuum chamber. In the middle of that vacuum chamber, as per your exact request, there is a high pressure. That is
Spurs.
exactly what you asked for. Don't try and skirt around now. That's what you
Spurs.
asked for.
Just to
Where's
point
the
out that
water?
this is a common thing that flat earthers, of course, ask us to demonstrate is a high pressure system inside of a vacuum. So now that we're showing you that there's a vacuum chamber there and that the high pressure system is sitting next to a vacuum, you're trying to move the goalpost and saying that, it's not really a vacuum chamber. No, it is a vacuum chamber. This wouldn't occur if it wasn't a vacuum chamber. Go ahead.
Okay, so what we've got in the real world, what you tell us, is gas pressure without a container and a vacuum without a container. What you're showing here, Craig, is a container. That's the problem.
Again, we don't say we have a vacuum without a container. You are misrepresenting the model that we have. We have a container that the vacuum of space is in. It's called the universe.
Yeah.
The universe.
Sure.
What?
Universe contains everything in it.
As I explained, we have energy in the vacuum. There is no true vacuum of space, like zero pressure in any direction. There's nothing like that exists. We can get really, 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 really low, but there's always going to be a little bit of vacuum energy that exists inside of every point in space.
What are the walls made of?
It doesn't need walls. It doesn't need walls. That's a construct that you, as a human, have decided that in your everyday life you see this, and it must be the same throughout the universe. Can you demonstrate that it needs one?
Yes, you can't.
No,
you can't ride your bike without the tire. You can't just pump your bike with air.
So, are you assuming that the entire universe is analogous to the atmosphere of the Earth?
Well, it's gas pressure, right?
No, it's not gas pressure. It's vacuum energy pressure. It's pressure that just exists.
No, Spurs, let's talk a little bit about definition for a second, because the definition of gas pressure is to have a uniform density, right? That's gas pressure. Does that match the Earth? Does Earth have a uniform density of gas? Yes or no?
No. The pressure of a gas.
No, Spurs, stop. No, Spurs, stop. It's a yes or no question.
No, because I have a citation for this from the Chemistry of Elmhurst.
No,
EDU,
it's a yes or no question. Can you just answer it?
So are we doing science or pseudoscience, first of all?
Science.
Because
we're doing science, but I'd like you to answer the question.
I've got the definition that the pressure of a gas is the force that the gas exerts on the walls of its container.
Do you not see anywhere in your definition where it talks about uniform density?
Let's have a look. I have to skim through that citation here.
This is let me tell you, this is a common argument for, hold on, this is a common argument for Quantum Eraser and JM Truth and anybody else that uses that same script. They always talk about, when they read off their definitions and their .edus, they always talk about the gas pressure will have a uniform density. It's always in their definition.
Okay, so it says that it exerts on the walls of its container. So when you blow air into a balloon, see these are the citations.
Spurs,
you guys don't have any citations.
Spurs, stop. You're jumping around the question. I've asked you a simple question. Does the Earth, the atmosphere on Earth, does it have a uniform density everywhere? Yes or no?
No, of course not.
Well then, it's not gas pressure.
Yes, it is gas pressure. That's what you're breathing.
No. You've just told you've just told me it's not by saying it does not have a uniform density. That is the definition of gas pressure. It does not have a uniform density. Therefore, we do not have gas pressure. We have atmospheric pressure created by gravity.
Where's your citation for
Well, you could just go to courses.lumenlearning.edu or grcnasa.gov. I mean, I can post all
win
these
that one. Another
citations
point to
if you
me.
like.
No, you don't have it. No, you don't have anything. You haven't provided anything, right? And that's
I've
points to me.
just told you. No, Spurs, shut up. All right, just shut the fuck up and don't say you've won when you haven't, because that is extremely fucking annoying. All right. I have just told you where you can find 2 citations. I can bring them up on screen if you want. But gas pressure has a uniform density. Earth does not have a uniform density in its atmosphere. Therefore, we do not have gas pressure. We have atmospheric pressure, which is caused by... No, not so I say. Facts. It is caused by
Where's
gravity.
the citation?
There is a
Where's
gradient.
your demonstration?
Okay, well, can you demonstrate? Can you demonstrate how? Hold on. Can you demonstrate the mechanism by which we do experience an atmospheric gradient without the force of gravity being present? Because we observe a gradient. If you're saying gravity isn't there and we're just making that up, then you would then need to explain why we have a pressure gradient without gravity. Because gravity is the reason we have a pressure gradient.
No. The only reason why we have a gradient is because the gases begin here on the surface of the Earth. So as they disperse,
citation, please.
Yeah. Well, that's what we see in nature.
Really?
No, we don't.
Really, we see nitrogen being produced nonstop off of fucking the surface of the Earth. Where is the nitrogen that is the majority gas in our atmosphere? What is the source of the nitrogen then? I believe it's 80% of our atmosphere.
I didn't make that claim about nitrogen.
No, you made the claim that the gases are created down at the surface of the Earth. Well, guess what we see at the surface of the Earth? Let me double check this. So I know I believe it's 80%.
Yeah, so unless it comes out of, I mean, I don't know what gases might or might not come out of a volcano, but mainly water from the
78%.
oceans. Mainly water from the oceans.
Water is H2O. There's no nitrogen in it.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. The atmosphere,
and water contains the atmosphere contains a very small amount of water vapor.
So
not
listen,
a lot.
if gravity didn't exist, Spurs, okay, hold on. If gravity didn't exist, then the bottom surface would be filled up with the oxygen that plants produce, the carbon dioxide that natural like volcanoes and shit like that produce, and the carbon dioxide that humans produce, methane that animals produce. These are gases that are at the surface, but we don't see these gases.
Gravity, what is it? What is gravity?
It's a phenomenon that we notice
a phenomenon that we don't...
Yeah, a phenomenon, yeah.
Gravity is a phenomenon.
That we deal with.
What is this phenomenon you just...
Yeah, that we...
It's...
we observe it all the time.
The phenomenon is that mass and energy.
Where do we observe gravity all the time?
Okay, listen. Mass and energy warp space-time. Okay, mass and energy warp space-time. We see the effects of that. One of the effects that we see is gravity. Another effect that we see is time dilation. Both of these have been observed, demonstrated, experimented with. Unless you're ready to say that general relativity is wrong, then you're going to need to tell me why it's wrong, because we have experimental proof that confirms that general relativity is indeed the most correct theory we have as far as gravity goes.
Yeah, sure, I can explain why general relativity is wrong, but first of all, you need to tell me what is gravity. What is it? We know that magnetism is
gravity.
Is a pulling...
Let me answer the question then. Gravity is the warping of space-time due to the uneven distribution of mass, which results in an attractive force between masses. That is what gravity is, okay?
Okay, so...
And that's been observed and experimented with. You cannot deny that fact. It is a 100% experimentally verified fact. And if you are going to say it's not, you need to refute every single experiment around relativity. Every single one of them. Otherwise, you have no claim.
I want to ask you a question, Spurs, okay? Spurs, hold on. Let me ask you a question, sir. So how would you go about verifying something you believed in? Okay, let me say that. Let's say I want to validate gravity. How would I do that? In your opinion, what would be the methodology I would need to do to verify that?
First, I'd have to observe gravity.
Okay, things fall. We are looking for
Things
an
fall,
explanation.
Yeah, so we have a description.
Hold on.
Okay, so hold on.
That's the
Okay,
natural
go on.
observed phenomenon. That's the natural observed phenomenon is that things fall. We say there must be a reason, according to F equals ma, there must be a reason that object falls. So
Yeah,
we then
I
work
agree.
from that premise. Okay, so now we know that things fall and we need a reason for them to fall. Go ahead.
Okay, so for example, if an apple falls, it's because it grew, it's ready, it became too heavy for the stalk that it's on. If you talk about a board, you throw in the air. You've picked it up from its resting place, and now it has this energy. Because remember, Newton's first law is objects in, or is it the second law? I think it's the first one. Objects at rest will stay at rest unless a force acts upon it. So obviously, if a rock is on the ground, it's at rest. If you pick it up, you've now became that force. You let it go, it falls back to where it was.
That's
Very
not how that
simple.
works.
Okay, well then
That's
Spurs.
exactly how that works.
Okay, so Spurs, the problem with that assertion is that if I were to dig a hole under the apple on the ground, the apple would fall deeper into that hole.
Oh, you've just changed the medium, yes, that it was in.
So,
Yes.
but I have not
What? No,
added
that's
or
not what you
taken
said.
energy away from the system. Yeah, you said that the apple was at rest on the ground. I grabbed it, put energy into it, which is true. You're absolutely right. It takes energy for me to lift that apple up. That energy is converted into potential energy. When I drop it, the energy converts back down to its resting spot. It's a conservation of energy. You're absolutely right about that. But if I go underneath the apple and I dig a hole right up underneath, let's say I go down, I dig 6 feet down, and then I go a little bit under, and then I dig six feet straight back up to the apple. The moment I dig the earth up from underneath the apple's going to fall to the bottom of that hole. I've not added energy to the apple. I've not given it any energy. But yet, the moment that I allowed it to seek a lower energy state, it immediately did so.
No. When the apple was on the ground in the mud, it was at rest. So now it's in a different medium. Okay.
Yeah, but
so
where's
that
the
medium
where's the
became-
energy come from?
Yeah, you said that things that are at rest will remain at rest. We already agreed upon that. I do 100% agree with you with that statement. So if it was at rest and no energy was put into it, how did it begin moving to begin with?
Because you changed the medium that it was in.
But I did not add any energy to the system. If I don't touch the rock, or if I don't touch the apple, if I only dig right up until I take all the ground off of the apple all the way up to the very surface, but I never touch the apple, then I would not be putting energy back into that apple, and yet it would still fall.
But you realize it's all connected as one when it's in the ground, right?
That is exactly what we're talking about. Everything is connected. All mass, all energy attracts each other.
Hold on. So let's say you're digging under the apple or the rock or whatever it may be, and then you get to the part where it's too weak. It became too weak to support the apple.
Support what?
The final dig.
Okay, so
you're
just
digging
a moment
from
ago,
underneath, and there's like a thin layer of mud. Just underneath the apple.
But just a moment ago,
one more
go ahead,
scoop.
I'm sorry.
So that final scoop that you put in, where it fell, you put that force in to make it fall, and it changed the medium again, and then it went down until it hits another medium. So remember,
Spurs.
you're digging.
Spurs, listen, you just said that an object will remain at rest unless something acts upon it, unless you touch it. You're going to have to apply a pressure to the apple to get it to move. Okay,
Act upon it. Not necessarily. You can act upon it. So that means magnetism is a pulling, and that's not a pushing, and that would act upon it, and that could cause it a force, just a force, right?
But you're saying it could, but you're not saying that how it could. You're just saying, like a moment ago, you said that an object will not move if it's at rest. Then I showed you a place
Right.
where we could. I gave you a thought experiment that you will agree upon, that if we dig a hole up but we don't ever touch the apple's still going to fall down the hole. I know it's a thought experiment. I know how ridiculous it would sound to try to recreate this, but given the context of our daily lives, we kind of know that when we dig the hole up
Well,
underneath
this
the
is very
apple, it's going
silly
to fall
now.
down.
Look, let's make it a little more simple. Let's just take the apple on like a shelf. Okay, so as soon as you touch under the shelf, you are now that force causing the apple to move. Same as if you were under the ground digging for. You are that force. Why is this so difficult?
Because
Right. Okay.
you're.
Let me ask you this then, Spurs.
Go ahead.
Right, Spurs. Can I ask a question? Right. So you're saying the reason an apple would fall is because of the energy you put into it, right? Is that your claim? I don't want to misrepresent you here. Is that what
If
you're
you're
saying?
saying from underneath, yeah, you cause the apple to fall in
No.
that case.
No, I'm not saying about underneath. No, I'm not saying underneath. I'm just saying there's an apple on the floor, right? You pick it up
Yeah.
and you let it go. You're saying the reason it
Yeah.
falls is because the energy that you put into it when you picked it up, right? Is that
No, no,
correct?
I'm saying that it was still, and then it needs a force for it to move, which is you. You are that
Yeah.
force.
Yeah, so you're saying you have applied the force to the apple for it to be able to fall to accelerate towards the ground, right? Okay. So does that mean
Right.
that you've only put a finite amount of force into it? So let's say you've picked the apple up and you're holding it
Mm-hmm.
1.5 meters above the ground. Are you saying that you've
Yep.
given it 1.5 meters worth of force?
No, that's not down to you. It's down to the medium it's in.
Huh?
That's not what
You
you're
don't
saying, though.
control the rate. You don't control the rate. So if you did this underwater, you'd get a different rate.
No, I'm not
You
talking
did
about
it
the
in
rate. Right, Spurs. I'm not talking about the rate. Spurs. I'm not talking about the rate. I'm saying that your claim is that the reason something falls is because you have applied the force to it by lifting it up. Right? That's your claim, right?
Yeah, because remember, Newton says
Yeah,
it will
right.
remain
Yeah.
at
Yeah.
rest
Okay. Right. No.
until
Right. Sorry. It's all right.
force.
It's okay. It's okay. All right. Stop. Stop. Let me get to where I'm going. So, you have applied the force. You have,
Yep.
according to you, you have given that apple 1.5 meters worth of force by lifting it 1.5 meters into the
No,
air.
you just
Okay.
presuppose that. I didn't say that. You just presuppose that. I said, Newton said, it will remain at rest until a force acts upon it. Now,
Yes, so
you're
you
that
are saying
force.
that you have given the force. Right, exactly. So you've given it
Right.
that force. But you
Right.
can't give it an infinite amount of energy, right? You can only give it a finite amount of force, right?
Now
And
you're
that
adding
force
stuff.
would be
No, you're adding
right.
stuff
So
to
you're saying
this.
that
What are you talking about?
right. So you're saying that there's an infinite amount of energy that you've given that apple when you lifted it up.
No, I'm saying that depending on the medium will depend on the rate that it
Oh, but
moves.
I don't care about the medium. I'm talking about
It
the
doesn't matter
distance
about
that it's
my
going to fall.
force. Yeah, it doesn't matter about my force because if I
All right,
threw
Spurs,
the
you're not
same
fucking listening.
object,
Just open your ears and listen for 2 secs, all right? You are saying that the reason something would fall is because you have physically given it that force. That's your words, right? That means that there is a finite amount of force that you could have given something. So if you pick up an apple off the floor, lift it 1.5
yeah,
meters into the air, according to you, you have given it 1.5 meters worth of force. That presents a massive
no,
problem because what if I pick up that
no,
apple from
that's
the
not
floor,
what I've
hold
said.
it 1.5
I didn't
meters,
say
shut
that.
up and listen, all right? Shut the fuck up and listen, all right? What happens if I
Well, you can
lift that
put
apple
words in
up
my mouth, but I
1.5
didn't
meters?
say that.
Shut the fuck up and listen. Stop interrupting, you fucking retard, all right? If you lift that apple up 1.5 meters into the air, okay, that means that according to you, you've given it 1.5 meters worth of force. Now, if I change and then move that apple over a well and let it go, it is going to fall with more than the 1.5 meters worth of force that, according to you, you have applied to it. Your entire paradigm is built on a faulty assumption of not understanding fucking anything. That is not
That's
how
not
a
what I
force
said.
works. A force, no,
That's not
it
what
is.
I.
A force is a constant. Shut up. An acceleration is a constant force. All right. It's not something that you can just give it boom once. It's going to forever accelerate. No. For something to accelerate, there has to be a constant force acting on it. The constant force is the force of gravity, not you picking up the fucking apple.
Can you demonstrate this?
Yes,
No.
absolutely.
Right? This
It's
is
called
all
the Cavendish
theoretical.
experiment.
This is all theoretical.
No,
This is
no,
all
no, shut the
theoretical.
fuck up. You just asked if... No, shut up. You just asked if I can experiment it. Yes, I fucking can. The Cavendish it demonstrates everything that I have just said. Do not say I cannot demonstrate it unless you can explain why the Cavendish experiment did not demonstrate what I am saying.
And
Well,
can you demonstrate a
Cavendish.
creator? But no, you've also said, hold on, let's use your logic. You've also said that everything that exists is because of a creator. Information must exist because of creator. But you've not demonstrated that. You've just said it. How is that any different
That's
than what
what I'm
you're
saying.
accusing Craig of?
That's what I'm saying. We both have the same religious belief. He can't
No,
demonstrate it. I can't
no,
I
demonstrate
no,
it.
no, no,
I
that's
can't.
wrong.
No,
That's
shut the fuck
wrong.
up. I just told you I can demonstrate it.
Yeah, that's
Don't tell
wrong.
me I can't demonstrate it, Spurs, when I've just told you I can demonstrate it. The Cavendish experiment demonstrates what I am saying. Don't fucking say I can't demonstrate it, alright?
Now,
Cavendish is not
Spurs.
an experiment. You know this.
Yes, it fucking is. No,
You
no,
don't-
unless you can refute exactly why it doesn't demonstrate what I'm saying, then you have no case. Do not say I cannot demonstrate it, and do not say the Cavendish is not an experiment, because that's exactly what it fucking is. You do not get to redefine science, alright, you fucking moron?
Okay, so
Well, again,
how is
the
how is it not an experiment? Physics college
You
students,
don't-
or every
you don't
year,
see mass
thousands of
attacks
college
in-
students do this experiment to graduate, part of their curriculum to advance forward. So, why is it not an experiment, Spurs?
We don't see mass attracting mass in nature. It's very simple. You're begging the
But
Yes,
question.
we
we
do.
actually fucking
No.
do.
Spurs, let something go and it falls towards the fucking ground. That is mass attracting mass. Stop saying we don't see things when we fucking do. And I just want to
Balloons
quickly
go
address
straight.
someone in the
Balloons
chat
go
that...
straight up.
Shut
Smoke,
up, shut up,
smoke
shut the
goes
fuck up,
straight
Spurs, I'm
balloons
talking
go
right now.
straight up.
Spurs,
1 second, guys.
Spurs,
1 second,
shut
guys.
up, I'm talking...
Hold on.
Right.
That's
Spurs,
let me
one,
just address someone
you're
in the...
telling misinformation. You're telling
Shut up,
disinformation.
Spurs.
Hey,
Spurs, will
give
you
us
shut
a-
up when I'm talking?
1 second. I'm going
Right.
to turn it over to you, Spurs, when he gets done, but go ahead, fight.
Right, yeah, I just want to quickly address someone in the chat that is objecting to my use of the word retard. No, Howard, your brother is not a retard. Retard is not a medical word, and it hasn't been for many, many years. Retard actually has the same epistemology as the word idiot. So, if I call someone a retard, I can call them a retard because it's not a medical term anymore. Stop being offended for somebody else because that's a stupid thing to do. Your brother is not retarded because retarded is not a medical term anymore. If you object to the word retard, you also object to the word idiot. People need to stop that. That's what I wanted to say.
Spurs, and then I'm going to turn that over to Spurs
Well-
now because he had a response to something you were saying, Craig. Go ahead, Spurs.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. Am I speaking to a religious fanatic or a scientist?
No, you're speaking to someone with evidence.
Hold on, fight. Let
No.
him answer, and I'm going to kick it right back to you and let you answer that because I know what you're going to say already, and you're absolutely right. Go ahead, Spurs.
I mean, I tried to start off about is it religious, and it seems to me you're preaching a lot, Craig. I mean, I'm asking for very simple experiments to show that we have a gravitational force. Now, you've done nothing but say, well, we have it because I am a professional, I'm a physicist, I have the papers to show. But with all of your profession, you don't actually have an experiment. Number one, we don't see mass attracting mass in nature. We know the cause of why things fall is because either you or the apple grew, it was time. If you were to take a basketball, for example, underwater and drop the basketball would rise. That is dependent on the medium, Craig. This is not down to any gravitational force. So the idea, like I've said, you have this religious belief, and you're becoming very fanatical about that religious
Stop! No, Spurs, stop.
Well,
Stop calling it a religious belief. Just fucking stop that, alright? Just do not say I have a religious belief, because that is not the case. Don't fucking say that, alright? You understand me? I'm telling you right now, stop fucking saying that.
Okay, Spurs.
What observed phenomena?
Let me.
Okay, let's talk about science. What observed phenomena do you have, Craig?
I'm going to respond to you. Right, we have an observed phenomenon. Mass attracts mass. Every time you let something go, it falls towards the ground. The moon is orbiting the Earth because of mass attracting mass. There is an observed phenomenon that mass attracts mass. The Cavendish experiment showed that this attraction between masses is not just towards the ground. It is between all masses. There is other experiments that also demonstrate this fact. For instance, the Schehallien experiment in Scotland, where they used a plumb bob over an entire year hanging off the edge of a mountain to measure the gravitational attraction of the mountain to try and weigh the world. And they did it. And they actually got figures that were very close to what we know now. There are many experiments that demonstrate mass attracts mass. Stop saying it doesn't, because you are lying, Spurs. You cannot say
Once
there isn't
again,
any
I
experiments when I've just told you two. No, shut the fuck up when I'm talking. You cannot say there's any experiments because I've just told you two of them. All right? Unless you can refute those experiments and their results, you cannot say there is not an experiment to demonstrate mass attracting mass. Do you understand? I'm not letting you get away with your fucking shit, all right?
Go ahead, Spurs. I'll let you answer that.
Every single one of those so-called experiments that you call them can be refuted with a change of a medium. Once the medium has changed,
No, they
Craig,
can't.
for every single one that you've just spoken about, you will get different results. And the conclusion will be a different outcome. And that's what you're not testing. That's why your science is not
No, it won't.
Let
rigorous.
me
Your
speak now.
science is
All right,
manipulative.
let me stop.
Can I speak?
Wait,
Your
let me
science
just
is
respond to him
pseudoscience,
quickly. Right,
there.
Spurs, stop. The buoyancy that you were talking about requires a downward force. The buoyancy formula is rho vg.
That is a
You
presupposition
need
about a
the
downward force.
No, shut the fuck up. There
let
is
him
a
answer
downward
first.
force.
Let him answer.
We
I'll
all
turn it to you
experience
afterwards.
it. Right?
Go
There
ahead.
is a downward acceleration. You cannot ignore that. That exists.
You cannot just preach
deny
that, Craig.
that's a
You
thing.
have to demonstrate that.
No,
You can't
I'm
just
not preaching it. Right, I can
Well,
fucking
demonstrate this
demonstrate it. I've
downward
just told
force,
you.
because
Shut up.
As far as we...
Cool. Right, shut
Okay.
up. Shut the... Spurs, I have told you. The demonstration that there is a downward acceleration. Let something go and it accelerates towards the fucking ground. That is a downward acceleration.
That is your hypothesis.
Shut
That
up,
is your
I'm talking.
hypothesis.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking, will you? Stop being so
ahead.
fucking rude, Spurs, alright? There is a downward
I apologize.
acceleration. That exists. It is observable. It exists. You cannot deny there is a downward acceleration, okay? Buoyancy requires that downward acceleration to be a thing. It needs the downward acceleration to pull the less dense mass, the more dense mass around the less dense thing, causing an acceleration in the opposite direction. If you say buoyancy, if you're talking about things going up, you are admitting to gravity, okay?
Hey, Spurs, I do want to ask you a question though, because this is a good point to be bringing out. Okay, so let's say we have a lead sphere, all right, and we take it up 100 meters, and we drop the lead sphere. It's going to hit the ground it's going to take a certain amount of time to reach the ground. Okay, and you say it's because the medium is not supporting the weight of the lead ball. Would that be a correct assumption that the atmosphere is not able to support the lead ball?
What would happen in space?
Well, I mean, in the
It would
absence of a
accelerate towards mass.
in the absence of a gravitational field, it wouldn't do anything. But if there was a gravitational field there,
what is the medium of space? You said there's a medium there.
well, there's a vacuum energy, yeah, but it's. So when you say that there's a medium, I mean, you're just saying that a point in space is filled up with a particular amount of energy, right, or matter. Yeah, that's what you're trying to get at, that there must be energy and matter everywhere in space. Well, we do see energy everywhere in
that's
space.
what you said.
No, we do see
everything.
but we do. We've already tested that. We've already tested that prediction out and validated that prediction that energy exists everywhere in space. So as far as you need to know, just think of a white paper where the vacuum of space is slightly less white. You know, it's kind of off-white. And everywhere where there's mass energy...
Those particles, those particles in space, are they attracted to anything?
They're virtual particles. They only exist for an instantaneous moment in time.
Do they have any attraction to them?
They don't exist for an amount of time, so there's no way for them to accelerate in any one direction or cause things to accelerate towards them. They exist, then they don't exist. That's it. And yes, they are affected. Yes, they are affected by gravity because that's what Hawking radiation is. These
how are they affected by gravity?
Well, if you have so if you have when the virtual particles come into existence, there's a conservation of energy, charge, momentum, everything. So essentially, what you're doing is you're adding a +1 and a -1 at the same time, so you're always getting a 0. All right, that's legitimately, like, if it's an easy way to think about it, is instantaneously in a mathematical equation there appears at the end a +1 and a -1. So you're really adding 0 to the total amount of energy and the total charge, and all that in the universe. Now, sometimes this occurs at the event horizon. So when this occurs at the event horizon, you can get one of the particles on one side of the event horizon and the other particle on the other side of the event horizon. If the particle that's on one side of the event horizon, if it's on the inside of the event horizon, no matter what it does, it can never make it back to the other particle. Now, since that other particle, being a virtual particle, no longer has its partner to eliminate itself, like you're removing the -1 from the equation, well, then you're putting the +1 out into the universe, okay? That's energy. Now, we got to figure out what happened with the -1. Well, the -1 went into the black hole and contributed negative energy to the energy of the black hole. So the black hole essentially begins evaporating down from, the black hole evaporates down, and what we see to confirm that the black hole is evaporating down is we haven't detected it yet, but we're getting close to detecting it, is the Hawking radiation that comes off of the black hole. So we're still getting a conservation of energy.
Okay, can we move on? I think that could be a draw because again, that's just another religious point. That
No. We have evidence, Spurs. Stop saying it's religious when we have evidence for what we're saying. All right,
Spurs.
Spurs. I'm going to ask you this once. Stop saying we have religious beliefs. All right, I'm asking you to stop it because it's not true. We do not have religious beliefs. We have evidence. Can you do that for me? Can you stop saying it? Because if you keep saying it, I'm going to call you a fucking retard over and over. Do you understand?
Spurs. Hold on. I want to ask you a question, okay? Because I started down this line of questioning, and it was a back and forth that I was trying to get you to tell me what you would accept as a confirmation experiment, okay? So you tell me if I say that gravity exists and you say, okay, prove it. Well, I'm going to ask you, what would satisfy you as an experiment that proved gravity to be true?
So, if you could show mass attracted mass with the right variables accounted for.
Done that.
Yeah.
You're asking for things we've already done. You're asking for things we've already done, Spurs. Stop it.
If you could show me right now, in real time, Cavendish in a vacuum, where the pressure
Cavendish has been
from
done
the
in
outside, where the pressure from the let's see it then.
Cool.
I want to see a paper. I want to see the actual movement.
Okay.
And remember, this is man-made, so that the phenomena will be questionable.
No, it won't. That doesn't. That's
and
not
I've got citations. Yes, it does. I've got citations to back me up.
No, it's not. No, Spurs. No, stop. No, stop. No, Spurs. Shut up. You do not get to redefine science. You're going to stop that right now as well. Okay.
Why you need citations
means not. Shut up. Shut up when I'm talking. Shut up when I'm talking. Spurs. Shut up when I'm talking. Right.
So you
do not get. You do no. Spurs. Shut the fuck up when I'm talking. You do not.
I'll give you a chance to respond.
Natural. Spurs. Shut up. Natural does not mean not man-made. It means not supernatural. Get that through your thick fucking skull and stop saying man-made things aren't science.
Every time I speak, he's interrupting me.
That's because you keep saying stupid things I've already fucking debunked. Stop going over the same things we've already explained to you. Do not ask for an experiment to show gravity because we've already told you it. All right? Do not do that.
So Spurs, I guess. Go ahead, Spurs. Go ahead. I'll let you speak. Go ahead, Spurs. I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
This is fanatical preaching, what, Craig? I have citations.
No, stop it. Stop it. No, fucking stop it. Stop it. No, I'm not letting you do that. You do not get to tell me I'm fanatically preaching or religious. I've told you to fucking stop that, and you will fucking stop it, all right?
But I'm saying that I have citations to back up what I'm saying. I have demonstrations to show.
You simply don't.
I'm going to show it. Yeah, I'm going to show a citation that... natural, synthetic, and artificial, and the difference. So terms can be difficult to find, this citation says. And through
I'm showing the picture of the Cavendish that was done in a vacuum.
Let me.
You've got the video.
On screen. I'll put it on screen.
Well, that's not a video. We don't see mass attracting mass. That's a photograph, right? So where's the video of it?
I can get the citations in the paper that it's from if you like. I'll post it in the chat now so everybody can see it.
Where is the phenomena in this picture? Where's the observed phenomena in this picture? You think the phenomena is in this picture?
Spurs, you do not need an observed phenomenon for a picture. Don't be a fucking retard.
So how do I see mass attracting mass in this picture?
Because that is the Cavendish experiment in there. That is the Cavendish experiment inside that vacuum chamber that they did, right? And
remember what I said? I'm trying
chat.
to demonstrate that.
Shut up. Shut up. I'm talking still. I have posted in the chat the link to the paper that is from. The Cavendish has been done in a vacuum. It has been recorded. It's been done over and over. You do not get to say it hasn't been done.
It's never been observed.
No, they observed. They observed it when they. No, Spurs. How do you think they did the experiment without fucking observing it? Stop saying they haven't observed it. Stop saying they haven't. No. Stop it. You do not get to say they haven't done it when I'm fucking showing you the picture of it. Now that's because you don't get to redefine science. You got to stop doing that. All right? I'm telling you, stop it. I'm not going to let you redefine science. You will stop it.
Well, I can tell you why. We are about to change the education system, yeah. Because what you guys are doing is I'm about to tell you why, though, not just state it, right?
But you can't. Okay. Go ahead, Spurs. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I don't mean to cut you out.
Okay, so what you guys are doing are reifying everything. You have an idea that you believe to be true, and
let him finish. Instead
of trying to falsify this claim, you're trying to push this claim as its fact. So when I ask you for a demonstration or any citations or any observations of what you're claiming, you just preach and shout and swear. Where I have, because like what we're going to get into next, if we can change it.
No, I don't. Spurs, no, you're not going to get to lie about me. I'm not letting you do it, all right? I have given you the citation. I have posted the paper for this experiment in the chat. I am showing you right now a picture from that experiment. You can go and look at the paper and try and falsify it later if you want, but you do not get to say I can't. No, you do not get to say I cannot give you a demonstration when I am literally fucking doing that right now. Stop it, and otherwise I'm just going to keep over talking you.
Anyway, we're moving on now. Next subject, because
we're not. No, we're not moving on. We're not moving on. We're not moving on until you can falsify this. You falsify the fact that the experiment was done in the vacuum. All right. Tell me how me actually showing a paper with the experiment, documented, isn't a citation and enough evidence for the Cavendish experiment being done in the vacuum. And you know what happened when they did the Cavendish experiment in the vacuum? They got the same value for G that you always fucking get.
That's not how science
you don't
works.
get to redefine science. No, Spurs, you don't get to redefine science. I've told you that. You do not get to redefine science.
That is pseudoscience. You're not describing science.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not pseudoscience. Stop saying that.
So let's talk about falsification here. So who is supposed to falsify a claim? Me or you?
The people doing the experiment.
Anybody that takes
not anybody.
Hold on.
Team
no, yes,
not anybody.
No, hold on.
No,
yes, absolutely anybody. Spurs, absolutely.
Oh, okay.
Anybody.
Santa Claus is real. Okay. Santa Claus is real. Prove he's not. Prove Santa Claus is not real.
That's not how science works. You don't fucking disprove.
Yeah, it's my claim, so prove he's not real.
It's on you to prove that he does exist, to offer evidence that I should believe
That's
it.
Where
right.
The falsification comes in.
Right.
So
Spurs. No. Shut up, Spurs. Listen. You're not gonna
That's
dominate
another point
it
to
like
me,
that.
guys. That's
no, it's
point.
not another point to you.
You haven't had any points.
Yeah.
Shut the fuck up, you moron.
You know what? Continue to add up your loser points all you want. I don't care. Okay. You're at about 6 loser points at this point, and that's fine. You can keep accumulating them. But yes, Spurs, when they post a scientific experiment, when they put it out, and they put it out for peer review, anybody can redo the experiment. The methodology is in the paperwork on how they did it. If you are capable of doing it, you can do it. If you have $1 billion...
And falsify it.
Yeah, and falsify it and produce your data that proves that they're wrong. This happens all the fucking time, bro. Yes, it does.
Only if I believe that. Yeah, only if I believe that to be true. If I don't
you follow the methodology and you prove that the data cannot be replicated.
Not if I don't believe it to be true. No, it's his claim. He has to show that it's not true.
I don't care about beliefs.
Okay,
that's your hypothesis.
I've showed it's not.
No.
Right.
So okay,
right,
you don't care about
it's
been
shown.
That's how you begin.
Spurs.
That is your first step, Craig. Your first step is belief, and then you're trying to falsify your belief.
No. Shut up. I don't have beliefs. Stop saying it's all about beliefs. It's not. It's about
No,
evidence.
I'm saying,
Right?
I'm saying
no,
you began
shut up and let me
with a
talk you through
belief.
it. No, stop, and let me talk you through this, okay? The observed phenomenon is that mass attracts mass. The observed phenomenon is that things accelerate towards ground, okay? My hypothesis is that mass attracts mass. To test
Acceleration is
this,
not a
I would
phenomenon,
put a
but carry on.
Cavendish...
Acceleration is not a
Absolutely
phenomenon,
fucking
but
is, you
carry on.
retard.
Hold on,
How is
hold
that
on.
a phenomenon?
No.
Absolutely is.
If you let go of a ball, does it fall at a constant rate or does it accelerate towards the ground, Spurs?
Depend on the medium.
No, it doesn't.
No, it always accelerates.
Yes, it does.
Yeah, for a change of velocity, an object must accelerate. Must.
No, if you take a
Yes.
basketball,
No. Yes, I'm right.
is that
Okay.
accelerating?
I'm right.
When you take a basketball
Yeah,
in the
it's
water,
accelerating. It's accelerating
No, if
in
you're
the
in the
opposite
wa-
direction of gravity because of the buoyant force. All right. Now let me
Accelerating
finish
in the
my,
opposite direction.
what I was saying. Yeah. Now let me explain. Let me finish what I was saying. All right. Keep your mouth shut for 2 minutes and just fucking try and learn something. Okay. My observed phenomenon is things accelerate towards the ground. My hypothesis is that mass attracts mass. To test this, I will create a Cavendish experiment and put it in a vacuum chamber to remove any external factors. This has been done. I presented you the paper to say it's been done. The conclusion of the experiment was that mass does indeed attract mass. I was not able to disprove my hypothesis with the experiment. Therefore, we will go with the experimentally verified fact that mass attracts mass. Unless you can explain why the experiment I have just described to you, including the scientific method steps that I explained, is false, you do not have a claim.
Go ahead, Spurs.
Because again, you haven't tested your claim based on an observed phenomena. We do not see
Yes, I did.
mass
I just told you that.
attracting mass. No,
Yes,
we
we do.
don't
Stop
see
saying
mass
we don't.
attraction.
I've told you we do. No, we do. I've
Spurs.
just told you we do by things
you-
accelerating towards the ground. Stop saying we don't.
Yeah, if you
So,
drop a
when you
basketball,
say the
why
word-
does it accelerate
hold on.
towards the ground?
When you say the word attraction, you're implying a force, you're implying a connection. There is no connection between the ball and the earth, other than
No,
the
you're
fabric
making
of
that up.
space.
No, you're making that up. No, you're making that up, Spurs. What we observe is an acceleration towards the ground.
But
That
no
is
connection.
an observed phenomenon. That no, you don't need a connection. All right, there's no
Yeah, you
connection in
would
the
do.
fucking
To pull
magnetic
something-
field.
To pull something, you need a connection.
What's the physical connection in magnets?
I don't know. Electricity.
Exactly. There's no physical fucking connection, is there? There's a magnetic field. The same on Earth, there's a gravitational field. Now, once again,
No, I just
it is an
electricity.
observed... No, shut up. It is an observed phenomenon that things accelerate
No, I've just
towards
told you
the
the answer.
ground.
Electricity. I've just
No,
told you electricity.
Electricity is not the
Spurs.
reason for magnetism. What about a magnet that is, a natural magnet, okay? What about a natural magnet that has no electricity, a naturally magnetic ore, that will
Another
attract
wild
other
claim.
things
Prove-
with the
prove
correct
that
magnetic...
a magnet has no electricity running through it. Well, prove that then, or disprove.
You just claimed. No, you claimed that a magnet has electricity running through it, so you would be after the one that has to substantiate that claim, Spurs. All right?
Because you could ground
The fact
it.
is that magnetic field. Yeah, the fact is that magnetic fields exist. Right? There is no physical connection. But if I got two just
Yes.
fucking normal magnets in my hand and put them next to each other on the table, they're going to move towards each other. They are not physically connected. Stop saying
Craig,
stupid
that's how
things.
we can turn devices on with magnets. We can use them as a connector. Electricity, of course, is a connection. What are you talking about? They're part of a circuit. There has to be a connection.
Spurs, you just totally changed the subject there. If I put two magnets on my table next to each other, they will move toward the north, the correct poles will move towards each other. What physical connection was there? There's no electricity running through these magnets that are on my table. What physical connection made those magnets move towards each other? Because they accelerated, right? They went from not moving to moving. That's an acceleration, okay? So they accelerated. What was the physical thing causing that?
I've just told you electrons, which is electricity.
Electrons are
simple.
not
I'm
I'm sorry,
electricity.
magnets don't work with electricity.
Electrons
That's not how
aren't
magnets-
electricity.
That's the fundamental. Yeah. So the idea is that there has to be a connection anyway, and you
No,
have
no, stop,
this
no, Spurs, you can't, no, stop. You haven't explained what the connection between the two magnets is.
I've just told you electricity.
No, it's not electricity. You're wrong. There is no electricity in these two magnets.
Electromagnetism, that's what it is.
No, I'm not
Do
talking
you know
about
what
electromagnetism.
electromagnetism is?
I am just talking about two normal
electricity
fucking.
and magnets.
No, that's not what electromagnetism is. Fuck's sake. I'm just
So
talking
again,
about
you
two
made the wild
normal
assertion.
fucking.
Look,
Stop and listen. No, Spurs, stop and listen. Stop and listen. Right? Two just normal bar magnets. They have no electricity running through them. Just two normal bar magnets. Again, no electricity. Right? And I put them next to each other on the table, and they have accelerated towards each other. Where is the physical connection that you say there must be?
Obviously,
It's not electricity, so you can't say that. Where? Can you show me? Point out the.
Yeah.
Can you
Spurs,
show
listen.
me the physical
What
connection
fight's
between
trying
those two
to
magnets?
Spurs?
have you
Spurs.
ever
What
looked
fight
inside
is
of
trying?
magnets?
Spurs. Listen. What fight is trying to say is, let's say you set two magnets 2 centimeters apart. Okay. There's no way they're touching each other. Now, let's say you're holding them back, you let go of them, and they'll attract to each other. Where is the connection that causes them to attract to each other?
It depends on the power of the electricity. That's in the
What
magnet.
Oh my God! Did you say the electricity in the
There's
air? No, that's incorrect. Also,
Yeah,
There's no
okay.
electricity in the magnets, Spurs.
The static
There's no
electricity.
okay. So I know what you're trying to
That's not how
say.
magnets
You're trying to find a way to get out of that hole you just put yourself in by saying that about gravity and saying that everything that causes an acceleration must be connected. So gravity can't be the reason, and then we say, oh, but look, here's the magnets, and they're not connected, but they're attracted to each other. And then you're just trying to say, well, what about this, and what about this, and what about this? Well, you can't just work your way backwards until you find a solution that fits your paradigm. You have to actually take the world into account and build your paradigm based on that. If the magnets do not need a physical connection to each other to attract together, and that was your premise, then you must also say that could possibly happen with gravity, because you can already demonstrate how you're incorrect about that regarding magnets. So how do you know that you're correct about gravity needing a physical connection to make objects move?
Because we know that magnets also have a physical connection.
No, they don't. I just told you.
What
I put two
physical
magnets.
connection?
I put 2 magnets 2 centimeters apart in a vacuum chamber, and they're still going to attract to each other.
And
It
to back
depends
it
on
up
the
even
energy
more,
that-
let's place a let's place a rubber sheet between those two magnets, right? They're still going to attract towards each other. There is
Exactly.
no physical connection like you said there has to be, right? So you are wrong about there needing to be a physical connection. Do you understand that?
Now, I do. I want to interject here, okay? Because the reason why I started down the line of questioning I was asking you, Spurs, was to understand what your methodology is in proving something to be true, okay? At least from your perspective, giving you your best. And when I say prove, I'm using it colloquially, meaning there's enough evidence to suggest that is most likely right, okay? So when I ask you that, I say, what would I need to do to explain any science experiment, not gravity, any science experiment? How would I be able to prove to you that the experiment is valid? Like, should I be able to make a prediction before I ever run the experiment? Or should I run the experiment and explain the outcome later? Which one of those two is more correct when it comes to a scientific experiment?
Yeah, so there is a way to see that physical connection.
No, Spurs,
hold
on. Don't leave my questioning. Don't leave my questioning, okay? I know you want to get back to that. I'll let you get back to that in a moment. But I'm asking you a simple question. Do you, in your opinion, what validates something? Okay, let's say somebody makes a claim and they want to validate it. Do they validate the claim by making a prediction? Hold on, by making a prediction prior to running an experiment, or do they validate the claim by running the experiment, looking at the results, and coming up with a conclusion?
No, you validate it with it's got to be repeatable. So if you have a claim,
but you need to predict it first, right? I mean, you can't just get to the end of the experiment and go, "Oh, look, this is the reason." because my data matches what I just
You
asserted.
predict.
Yeah, you
would
make a
only
prediction.
predict-
Exactly. You make a
You would only
prediction in
make
the
a
future. Right. You make a
Only-
prediction in the
only-
future. Go ahead.
Only if you only make a prediction if there is a cause to an effect.
Okay, so let's say you tell me that something is the way it is. Okay, anything. We're not gonna limit you down to one topic. I'm not gonna come here to try to prove you wrong. You say this happens because of this. All right. Now, when you say that, if I want to validate that, I should be able to make a prediction given a certain set of circumstances based on what you say happens. All right. And then I should be able to use your methodology to see if I still get the same results that you got, or if my prediction matched what it should match. What I predicted, does it match observational reality? All right. It's not a do the experiment, evaluate the results, and come up with a conclusion. It's make a prediction and then do an experiment and see if your conclusion matched your prediction. That's how you validate something or invalidate something. Now, I asked you that because when it comes to gravity, when it comes to general relativity, we have an experiment that was able to be performed in space, okay, that was not meant to be an experiment. It was the Galilean satellites. When they put the Galilean satellites up, they were supposed to be on an orbit that was, I believe, geocentric, not geostationary, but it was like a GPS satellite where it rotated the Earth. It goes around the Earth, right? But what happened is when they put these satellites into orbit, they put them in the wrong orbit. They put it in an orbit that brought it closer to the Earth on one pass, and then as it went around, it went further from the Earth. So it was more elliptical than circular, all right? This allowed us to test predictions made by general relativity. We didn't go up there and say, oh, look, these satellites are out of place. Must be, the clock difference must be general relativity. No, we said, oh, look, these orbits take it further from gravitational potential and closer to the gravitational potential of the Earth at different times in the orbit. The prediction that was made was that the clocks would be different, would tick at different rates relative to a clock here on Earth at different points in the orbit. We tested that out. We allowed those clocks to make the full orbit, and we tested the clocks out at different positions to confirm that our predictions are valid. And they were validated. General relativity was proven to be correct as best as we could. And again, I use the word proven as a colloquial term. It's just evidence to support general relativity is correct.
Again, it sounds, look, you're just preaching at me, right? What I'm about to do next is not preaching. I'm going to provide you with absolute a demonstration. You're just preaching what sounds like a religious idea that you want me to convert to without any evidence to support it. Now, we're told that
apart from the evidence we present, of course.
No, you haven't presented any evidence. So we're told that everywhere is curving.
No, Spurs, sorry, but the Cavendish experiment was evidence. You can't say I haven't presented the evidence.
A photograph of mass attracting mass is not evidence, Craig.
I also presented the scientific paper. No. I also presented the scientific paper around it. So I have presented evidence. You cannot say I haven't. Stop saying things that are just outright lies. Okay, stop it.
That should be 2 points to me, team, because he failed to provide any evidence that mass attracts mass. If I showed you a photograph.
Stop saying no. Stop it.
If I showed you a photograph.
No, Spurs. No, I'm not letting you do it. I'm not letting. No, Spurs. I'm not letting you do that. Spurs. No, I'm not letting you do it. Spurs. I'm not letting you do it.
So rude tonight.
Spurs. I'm not letting you.
You're just fanatical.
I'm not letting you do it. I'm not letting you do it. I have presented evidence. Spurs, I presented evidence and I presented the science. Shut up! I presented evidence and I presented the scientific paper to back up the picture that I present. Shut up! I presented the scientific paper. Did you hear that? I presented the scientific paper. Can you hear those words? Yes or no?
Yeah, you showed a paper to a photograph.
Right. Yeah. Cool. So So I have that was the scientific experiment that was done. If you want to falsify that experiment, you can go and recreate it yourself. The experiment has been done.
So I'll take a picture of the ice wall and write a paper and say, oh, here's the picture of the ice wall and here's my paper on the ice wall. Don't be silly, Craig. We're gonna have to.
Yeah,
have
but no. But Spurs, what you're saying is silly because many experiments are not done with the ability to turn a camera on it and validate it with just a camera. Like for instance, the gravitational waves. We don't look at gravitational waves. We can't see them if we look at them. We have to design an experiment where the gravitational wave affects the experiment, and then we look at the data. Hold on. Let me finish. Hold on. Let me finish. We then go back. We go back and we look at the data. We see the anomaly in the data, and we then break down the anomaly. Okay, it's not a matter of someone taking a camera and putting it on the wave detector, LIGO, and leaving it there and saying if it doesn't get caught on camera, it's not a valid experiment. That's not how science works.
No, I'm taking those 2 points.
Can you show me Spurs? No, well, you don't get any points, Spurs. Can you please show me a video of the Marcus and Morley experiment?
No, that's not my claim.
Just scientific papers?
I'm gonna claim.
No, but this is your. Wait, your claim is that I need to present you with a video or something to back up what I'm saying. Can you please present me with a video of the Marcus and Morley experiment?
Yeah, can you present me with a video of the buoyant force?
No.
Not an object accelerating, but a video of the force accelerating the object.
Look,
I need
guys,
that for you to.
I'm a flat earther. I'm going to prove flat.
Yeah, no, sorry. The word is retard. You got that wrong.
No, if I can demonstrate and show absolute perfectly flat parallel, this will demonstrate that we can. Yes, I can.
No, you can't. I'll put money on it that you can't.
I bet my channel on it that you can't. All right.
That what? That I can't show liquid.
Yeah, if you can show me evidence that the Earth is flat. Then I will delete my channel.
No. I'm going to show you that liquid, like a canal or a bath, the liquid is absolutely flat and level and parallel.
No, it's not.
Sorry. Well, it is level. You're right, but I'm afraid that Wallace
and it's parallel.
Spurs.
I'm sorry, but you can't
claim
that canals
of the water
are flat. Yeah.
Any motion of the water is going to result in the surface being not perfectly level. Okay, or not perfectly flat. I'm sorry. So you're going to fail in your demonstration, even in a bathtub. Go ahead, fight.
And even the Bedford level experiment showed that the canal was not flat. So I'm sorry, but your claim has already been disproven.
So you said you're going to give up your channel if I do what?
If you can show me 100% evidence that water is completely flat all the time, I will delete my channel.
No, I don't want you to delete your channel. So don't bet that. Bet something else.
No, I'm betting. I'm betting that. All right, Team to delete his channel. How about that?
Thanks, asshole. I love how he thinks that because he has more subscribers now, he can just determine when my channel gets deleted and not.
If I show liquid, if I show measurable liquid, absolutely, completely level, flat, parallel, you're going to delete your channel, Craig.
Yeah, but you said measurable, right? So I'd expect measurements to come with that. I'd expect measurements to come with that. Absolutely, you said measurable.
I'm talking perfect.
And you've got measurements to back it up, do you?
Absolutely, 100%.
Cool, let's see it.
So you really want to bet your channel? So what? You want to bet your channel?
Yeah. If you can show me water measured to be 100% flat, I'd delete my channel.
Perfect.
But you've got to show me an actual measurement.
This is what I'm saying.
No,
liquid.
Wait, Spurs, wait, stop.
Level.
Wait.
Canal,
you used the word level.
Like a bath. You heard the word bath. Could be a bath. Could be a canal.
Wait one sec. You said the word level, right? But the word level means conforming to the curvature of the liquid parts of Earth's surface. That is the literal definition of the word level. So I think you need to take the word level out of there and just stick with flat, okay?
No, Craig, not conforming. This will be parallel 100%.
Wait, no, but you said level, and that's what the word level means. So. So if you're saying level, then the water is conforming to the curvature of Earth.
Level, parallel, no curvature whatsoever. 100% straight.
Sorry, but
flat,
level means
as you like.
curved.
No,
Right,
this doesn't
stop
have
saying
any
level
curvature
then,
in it.
because
Okay,
you're using the wrong
so-
words.
So I'm saying no curvature then. Whatever you want to describe it. No curvature, 100% measured.
All right.
Are you
Come
sure
on,
you want to bet your
let's
time
see
on
this measured 100. Let's see this 100% measured flat water.
All right, so just stipulate the conditions. If this is shown that liquid can be 100% parallel, you're going to delete your... I don't want you to do that, Craig. That's a bit much.
Well, let's just
Retract
get the
that.
evidence up.
No,
I don't
let's
need
know
to.
what
How
you're
about
gonna
this?
do.
I have a bet. Okay, I have a good bet right here, Spurs, between you and Fight. If you can prove this to be true, and Fight, you don't have to agree with this. You can agree. In fact, I'll put the money up. Okay. If you can prove this to be true with evidence, me and Fight will donate $100 to a charity of your choice. If you can't, you have to donate
No.
$15. $15. Come on, man. We're not putting up this month's rent, and you're not prepared to put up $1,000
You're not
either.
going to
So,
lose. You're not going to lose, are you? You're not going to lose, are you?
or do you have $1,000 to
Well,
put up?
let's go.
Spurs, do you have $1,000 to put up?
Of course.
Okay, Fight. You willing to take that? I'll split it with you. Spurs,
Yeah,
you can't
okay,
back
alright,
out.
if-
You're not gonna. But we got to set
Right.
some standards. What is the proof going to be, Spurs? Because I'm gonna put my money up for it. Okay.
Liquid
We'll say water. We'll just say water. Right?
is
Is that fine?
completely level, flat. Well, you mean curve, but I don't mean that. You know what I mean when I say flat? I'm talking no curvature whatsoever.
Well, yeah, just stop
Pristine.
using the word level then. Just say flat.
Spurs, you do understand,
Yeah,
okay?
absolutely.
That we have to.
measurable,
You have to do this right. So how do you intend on doing this to prove it?
I'm going to
set
give Craig a link.
And bear in mind,
No. I'm
If
not
you
saying how are you going to show us you did it. Tell us right now what your methodology is going to be to prove that it's flat.
No. I'm not going to show you my methodology until you.
Well,
make the bet.
but okay. So what? No, we're that's Fight. Are you okay with that bet? $500 for you. 500 for you. 500 for me. Are you okay
Yeah.
with that? All right, Spurs.
yeah,
Will you put
if
up?
He can show with evidence. If he can
Spurs.
show with evidence the water is always 100% flat,
I said
then between you
liquid.
and I will donate $1,000 to charity.
Liquid.
All right, liquid.
I said liquid.
Let's go with
No,
liquid then.
okay.
The liquid
Oh my-
is
Okay. Are you
No.
sure? You sure you want to do this?
Define the liquid that you're going to do, define the area that you're going to measure it over, and define your methodology as to how you're going to measure it to ensure that it's flat. That's what you have to do right now, Spurs, if you want to take this bet. I will put my money up on it because the earth is not flat. So how would you do this?
Yes, but you
and
say
right. I'll tell you what. Right, and to back this up, I'm going to put £500 into my PayPal account right now and take a screenshot so everyone can see the money's there.
And I'll put $500.
Right.
I'm not kidding. I'll put $500 with his £500 to any charity that you want, Spurs. If you can show us that water over a defined amount of distance is perfectly
flat.
flat.
PayPal, right? You're gonna send it to my PayPal.
No, I'm not giving it to you. I'm giving it
No,
to
we're
charity.
going to send it to charity. But
I'll let
no,
you pick
no,
the
no,
charity.
no,
You
no,
can
back-
pick the charity.
And if you don't back up your claim, you have to donate $1,000 to charity.
Well, you know what? To make it fair, you can donate 500. Since we're putting in 500 apiece, you have to put in 500 to a charity of our picking. If you can't demonstrate this.
Okay. That sounds all right. And to charity.
Okay.
For charity.
Great.
Right.
For charity. For
Send me
for
the link
somebody
then.
else. All right. So here's
All
what
right.
we
Here's
have.
the
We
link.
need you
Here's
to
the link.
define.
I've sent the link, Craig. Here you go. Ready to delete your channel. It's all over, my friend. Get ready to see.
Oh, I've seen
Now
this
you
one
have to
before.
play the entire video and listen. We've got to listen to what he says, Craig. Right? And
Hold on. Is this going to be one of those you're going to play the video and go, "Yep, I won that"? Because that's not how that works.
No, let's play the
Okay.
video. Let's listen to the video before. Well, anyway, so let's say goodbye to Craig's channel. even though I don't want you to do that, but you did say that. We've got that
I
on.
thought we'd agreed on money. I thought we'd agreed on money rather than the channel.
Yeah.
Are you changing the bet now?
No, it was both 1,000 and the channel, right?
No, it's one or the other. Which one do you want?
You were calling us names. You were mocking us, ridiculing us. Now I'm about to demonstrate that absolutely
you're all
perfect.
fucking idiots.
Right, play the video.
The conditioning end of the melting zone at a temperature of 1100 degrees centigrade through a narrow canal, from where it passes to the heart of the process. A
Danny
bath of
Pratt
molten
commented on
tin.
this.
Here the glass spreads out, following the perfect flatness of the tin, so that the
Mm-hmm.
upper and lower surfaces of the glass remain absolutely flat and parallel.
There you go. Pause. 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 Rewind. Rewind. Pause.
We
Okay.
heard it, but it doesn't really demonstrate what you're trying to say, does it? Because
Can you rewind it?
Wait,
Rewind.
let me say
Hold on,
something.
Spurs.
Okay?
Hold on,
Pause.
Spurs. Go ahead.
What
I'm
they're
a winner.
doing
That's 10
is
points.
pouring.
10 points. Practical.
Are you gonna listen, or are you gonna just keep spouting off like a moron? All right. What
All
they're
right,
doing
first
is
play
they're
it again,
pouring into. Are you gonna interrupt when I'm talking, or are you gonna shut up? All right.
Go
What
on
they're doing
then,
is
go
they're
on.
pouring into a flat thing that is possibly tangential to the Earth. Okay. So
No,
this
he didn't
actual
say that.
container
Play
that
it
it's
again.
in.
No, play it again. Play it again and listen to what he
So that
says.
the upper and lower surfaces.
Play the whole thing.
A bath of molten tin.
I'm doing it right now. Shut up.
Here the glass spreads out, following the perfect flatness of the tin, so that the upper and lower surfaces of the glass remain absolutely flat and parallel.
Yeah, they're following the tin.
Absolutely
Now,
flat.
in what way?
Absolutely
In what way?
flat and parallel.
Wait, Spurs. In what way does that show that liquids are always flat and parallel?
It's just showing you that it's not following any curvature of the Earth there.
Because it's not on the Earth, it's in a tin. What would happen if you poured that glass onto the Earth?
Yeah,
Spurs?
and that's not following the curve. That's completely flat and completely level. You heard it there.
Yeah, because
You owe me
that is not on
$1,000.
the Earth. That is in that is in the tin. Now, what
That
would
is in a
happen
canal, yes.
if you poured? It's not in a canal. It's in a tin.
That's
a
what he
canal
called- he
also
called it
follows
a
the
canal.
curvature of the Earth.
He called it a canal.
It's not an
You didn't
actual
listen.
canal, though, is it? It's a tin.
He called it
now,
a canal. You
what
owe me
would happen-
$1,000,
Now,
Craig.
Spurs,
I'll show-
answer the
I'll
question.
show you measurable,
Spurs,
absolutely
Spurs,
flat
shut
and
up and
level.
answer the.
No, you
Spurs, answer the question. Spurs, answer
Hold
the
on.
question. What would
Hold
happen if
on.
you poured that
Where's the
glass
measurements?
onto the ground?
Where are the measurements, Spurs? To
Play
show.
the video.
No,
Play
I'm
the
sorry.
video.
I'm sorry. He said it, but where are the measurements?
Play the video. You've got to
No,
play the
that's
video.
not.
Listen to
That's
all.
not it. That's not it. That's not showing us measurements. That's some guy saying something. Isn't that what y'all's argument is all the time? Where are the
Yeah,
measurements,
you owe me
Spurs?
$1,000.
Where are the measurements?
No,
You owe me
I think you
$1,000.
actually need to pay $1,000. Spurs, it was to charity, number one, and number two, you need to now pay $500 to
A
charity.
gentle stretching action.
No, you owe me $1,000 for charity here.
Oh, wait, look at the glass right now. So the glass that's touching the edge of that saw, is that flat or is it going to be curved?
He's already told you, parallel, flat, and level, both sides.
Where
top and
are the
bottom.
measurements?
In-
He said that colloquially.
in a
Where
tin?
are the measurements? Yeah, exactly. Liquids
The
liquids
measurements
act
are
under
zero.
force.
The measurements are zero.
Where?
There's no deviation.
Where do you see
Where's
that?
the
Show me the
measurements?
measurements. Show me the
It's
measurements. Spurs.
parallel.
Show me the measurements.
Parallel. Oh my
Show me-
God. Parallel
the
means
measurements.
horizontal.
Hydrogen and nitrogen.
How
Show
silly
me
are you, team?
the measurements. No, shut up.
Team,
Show
you-
me the
your brain's
measurements.
freaking out
Show
right now.
me
You're
the
freaking out.
measurements. No, show me
You're
the
freaking
measurements.
out.
You're
freaking out.
taking what some guy said. Okay, hold on. So if I go and make this same video and just replace and just take all his voice out and put my voice in and go, oh, here, look, it slightly curves at the top. Well, then I just debunked it, right? Because I said it. I mean, that's what that guy said. He said
Been
it.
debunked.
Oh, no, I have
Can't
not been
believe what you
debunked.
guys are like.
No,
You've
I
got
have
it
not
there.
been
The guy
debunked.
told you.
The
It's
guy told you.
completely
Well, hey,
parallel.
okay. Do I need to show you how many times somebody says gravity is real? Why can't you?
Team,
Okay, so
it's
that.
there.
Hold on,
Parallel.
everybody. I want you to hear this. Spurs now
Upset.
allows a scientist to just say that it's flat, therefore it must be flat, or the guy in the thing says it's flat, it must be flat. Now, should I go and grab all the times on YouTube that someone has said that gravity exists, therefore it exists? Don't you ask for measurements, Spurs? Yes or no? Do you ask? Hold on. Do you ask for measurements? Yes or no? You have not demonstrated anything. No, you have not demonstrated anything, Spurs. You have not demonstrated anything. I heard what? How many times have you heard? Hold on. How many times have you heard that gravity exists and you deny that? Is that so? All you have to do is hold on. No, all you have to do is hear the words "gravity exists." Are you ready for me to play multiple clips of scientists saying that gravity exists so that you can fucking accept it based on what somebody said on a video? Yes or no, Spurs? Yes or no, Spurs? You have not demonstrated anything. You played a video. Where are your measurements? I don't care what I heard. Where are the measurements? Where are the measurements? Where are the measurements to show that they're parallel? Where are the measurements to show that it's parallel? Where are the measurements to show? No, where are the measurements? Spurs, listen to what I'm saying. Where are the measurements to show that they were parallel? Outside of the man saying that they were parallel.
Play the video. You haven't even watched. You watched 5 seconds of it.
No, I asked you to give me the thing. I asked you to give me the measurements, and you said that they said parallel. They said parallel. I don't care what they say. Where are the measurements?
You need to go to a glass workshop then.
I don't need to go anywhere.
Busted. You're all busted.
I don't need to go anywhere.
Parallel, both sides. I've got the facts, the demonstrations, the figures, the numbers, everything. He's shown that this is liquid, is absolutely level and parallel, and you guys can't show that it's curving. You can't show that that's more or less than zero.
Well, that's exactly why at the beginning I said, how do you expect to do your methodology? If your methodology was playing a video that someone else did with a narrator over it, I would have told you that you're fucking stupid. Now, when I said, how do you intend on demonstrating no curvature, you need to demonstrate this. This is not a video that I want you to play to demonstrate that it's perfectly flat. I need you to do it.
Play the video, and that will just show you it all.
Go ahead, play
flat
the video.
level.
I don't care. Play the video.
What more do you want? The liquid is.
I want you to demonstrate it. I want you to demonstrate it.
I don't work for that company. Stop being silly.
And do you think the guy that fucking said it was parallel, the narrator, do you think he's the guy that did the fucking experiment? Yes or no? How do you know that hold on, shut up, Spurs. How do you know that everything he's saying is not 100% a lie? Have you ever demonstrated this? Have you gone and found other experiments? And this isn't even an experiment. This is a process. But have you found anything to corroborate that? Any links to corroborate what they're saying? How do you know that that's just not a narrator just saying whatever he wants to say?
Yeah, it's a flat Earth organization.
You don't.
Yeah, it's a flat Earth organization. Yeah, it's a flat Earth organization. Yeah, we've all got together and we've decided to build this factory and make the liquid flat and level and bring it to the world. Yeah, that's what happened.
You would need jobs and money. You would need jobs and money to do that.
Spurs, stop. Spurs, listen. All right, I'm going to play this video a second. We just listen to what the narrator says.
As they pour the glass, it follows the curvature of Earth.
Oh, wow, they just said it on the video.
Oh, my God, did you hear that? Wow, you owe me $500, Spurs. You owe me $500.
We can listen to it again if you want. I mean, I can rewind
please,
it and play it again.
hold on. Yeah, please. I didn't hear it that well. Go ahead.
It follows the curvature of Earth.
Let me just do it once more.
As they pour the glass, it follows the curvature
That's
of
you,
Earth.
team.
Wow, they said it on the video, Spurs.
Oh my God! Look what just happened. That was you, team.
So just saying something is good enough. That's what you're saying, right?
I nearly believed you. In that video you just watched,
you heard it say.
I can't believe you just done that. I can't believe you. I really believed that you for a second there, for a moment, and then
okay.
I can't believe it.
Before you pulled your shenanigans there, Spurs, I asked you at the beginning what your methodology was, what the distance would be over which we would be measuring this, and what you expect to see when
No,
you say
you're
you
deceivers,
define.
guys. You just tried to. No, team, you're not
No.
honest. You just tried to
Fuck
deceive
that.
me.
I told you from the beginning that I wanted to know what your methodology was and how you intended on doing this. You can't just go out and say, oh, I was going to put a camera at the bottom of a pool and measure on the other side how much of a drop the other camera had or another point had that I arbitrarily set on the pool. That wouldn't have worked for me. See, because you don't understand what it takes to prove something beyond a reasonable doubt. Playing a video with a narrator over it, saying that it's perfectly parallel without any fucking measurements to show that it's actually fucking parallel is not fucking sufficient evidence to support your claim.
No, I can't believe.
And
Yes,
also,
yes.
Also, Spurs, and also the thing is that tin that is poured into is engineered to be flat, right? But if you poured that glass onto the floor, Spurs, if you poured that glass onto the floor, it's going to follow whatever shape the floor is, right? Do you agree with that?
Craig, I'm done. I can't believe you
Yes,
just deceived me like that.
Do you do you agree with what I've just said? Do you agree with what I've just said? If you pour that molten glass onto the floor,
just told
will
you
it follow
parallel, flat?
Yeah, in that tin. Right. But I've just asked you a question. If I poured that molten glass onto the floor, Spurs, what shape will it be then? Will it follow the shape of the floor, or will it also be perfectly flat?
The same thing. Perfectly flat.
Oh right, so you think if I poured it on, so if I poured it onto the floor that wasn't perfectly flat, the glass is still going to be perfectly flat, is it?
No, it won't be flat on the top, obviously, but on the bottom, it will be perfectly flat.
Well, there you fucking no. Wait, it's going to be
what?
Spurs, listen to the words. If I pour that molten glass onto the floor that isn't flat, what shape will the molten glass be?
So the surface will be completely parallel, and the bottom will just follow the contour of the ground, right?
Do you have any evidence for that?
I've just posted
it. Or
it.
You just saying
thing.
things.
I've just posted it for you, Craig. You've just watched it. And you just tried to deceive me.
Yeah, but then when this narrator speaks,
as they the glass, it follows the curvature of Earth.
Oh, it's weird because I watched it on the video and I heard the guy say it. So,
but I don't. Really pranked, I mean, how is that any different than? Hey, how is that any different than what you showed us, though?
That was a good prank. You owe me $1,000, guys. £1,000.
No, we don't know you shit. We don't know you shit because you did not demonstrate anything. You just played a video where some guy said something. That's all you did. Spurs, shut up. Listen, I'm going to let you fucking run with your bullshit for as long as you wanted to, but you have not demonstrated anything. I asked you what your methodology would be. You couldn't even give me a methodology. You played a video where some guy said they're parallel, and you took that to mean that at all points under electron microscope measurements, they're exactly equidistant from each other. You haven't demonstrated that. You haven't shown any evidence to support that. You have a narrator that says one thing. Well, guess what? I now have a narrator that says something completely different than you do. Show me why my narrator is wrong and your narrator is right. Demonstrate it. With measurements. Fuck, what do you not understand about fucking science, dude?
And with that, I will say good night, guys. Thank you very much.
All right, have a good night, Spurs. You have for real, man. Take care. All right.
Yeah, please go and donate the £500 you need to charity.
Yeah. Yeah, that dude's a fucking idiot, man. But hey, you know, I mean, it was a good thing, but that's why.
I'm sorry that I went off a little bit.
Please, you took over my role for one night. I love doing that, and to be honest with you, when I first started, man, I started getting having cold sweats real fucking bad, and I was coughing a lot, and I was like, holy shit! I even made a comment in the fucking chat. I was like, damn, man, I don't know how long I'm gonna be able to do to do this, and you just took over. So thank you very much for for doing
I think
what
I held in all my rage from yesterday. I purposely stayed extremely calm when debating Riley yesterday because I wanted him to hang himself, which he did very, very well. So I'd held in the rage since yesterday, and I just let it out there.
Yeah, but to be honest, okay, here's what's wrong with, here's why Spurs could never take this argument into a fucking courtroom and say, yeah, these guys are forced to pay $500 a piece. Because first off, you didn't demonstrate anything. You played a video that said a thing. Okay, well, we can go play videos that say other things that directly contradict what you're saying. On top of that, all we have to do is show one time when that doesn't work. And believe me, Spurs, that would not be hard to show one time where water curves around a sphere. All I got to do is pour water on a basketball. And guess what? As it drips down the basketball, it's going to follow its curved surface. All right? That means the water, all connected to each other, is going to be curved. Nothing you can say about that, Spurs. Pay the fucking $500 to charity, and I don't even care. I don't care what charity you do, but put it towards charity. Help someone else go to college, something that you wouldn't do for yourself. Go help someone else. Yeah, sure, no problem. All right, so I'm going to read some super chats because we've had a lot come in, and I'm sorry, guys. I was going to stop in the middle of all this and read out half of them, but it was so much of a dumpster fire, it just kept on going. Jessica G for $2. Love you, my alien-loving friend. Hey, Spurs, go F yourself. Everyone 2020. Exactly. Ilya Moon for $2. F off, derpity derp. Yes, exactly. Ilya, thank you very much. Glass Monster for $2 Canadian. Please bring me on. Yeah, he's already left, man. Sorry about that. Jessica G for $10. That really sucks, team. I still hate your face, though. Thank you. I appreciate that. Here's the 10 spot to help you fix the window on your Prius. Car break-ins blow just when it's not yours, or just not when it's yours. Love, Jess. Well, I appreciate it. Actually, my window wasn't broken. My door was just opened, and when I got into the car, everything, it was like completely trashed. Like they had pulled out stuff out of the glove compartments and threw it everywhere, out of my center console and just threw it everywhere. So it was an unfortunate thing. I don't keep objects of value in my car, and I don't lock my doors, so that way I don't run the risk of getting broken windows. I learned that when I lived in downtown Dallas, and my car was literally getting broken.
Well, at least they didn't steal your car.
Every month. Yes, that would have been an issue if they would have stolen my car. And we have some kids in the neighborhood, so I'm sure it was one of them. They just probably walked by, pulled on the door handle, and said, "Oh, look at this car, it's open," and jumped in. I mean, at least they didn't break my window.
Oh, winds me up.
It does. It winds me up too. Christ Puncher for $2 Canadian. Spurs is too stupid to understand what evidence is. I know. Exactly. And it is, like, that's why I tried to walk him through it. I tried to ask him, I said, you tell me what it would take for me to convince you that an experiment is correct. Do I need to wait until I have the results of the experiment to say, oh, look, we can use this to explain these results? No, that's not how science works. Science is based on prediction. What I do is I get enough data to where I can make an informed opinion, an informed prediction, and I make the prediction before the experiment is ever run. I wait until the end of the experiment, and I verify that what I believe to be true because my data matches my predictions. And then I have to take everything into account too. You can't just be an Anthony Riley and do an egg experiment with a TDM, or the wrong fucking meter, not even the right meter you're supposed to use to measure density. And then not even taking into account that the density equation has the acceleration force in it. Like it's, if you're not accounting for gravity.
Equation, you mean?
What did I say? Yeah, the buoyancy equation.
You said the density equation.
Oh yeah, the buoyancy. Yeah, I'm sorry. Boom.
Yeah, that's Victor style.
Yeah, just making sure you're paying attention over there. Go ahead.
Remember when Victor said that the buoyancy equation is density equals mass over volume? That was good.
Yeah. All these people that say that F equals M over V have got to take that into account. That means A equals 1 over V. The acceleration of an object is not based on its mass, not based on its density. It's literally based on as the acceleration goes up, the velocity volume goes up. Let me see.
So last night in the after show when Spurs came on, we were trying to go over forces and stuff, right? And he just wasn't getting it. So I asked him in F equals ma, what does the A stand for? What do you think his answer was?
trying to think what he would say other than acceleration. I don't know. What'd he
said
say?
Area.
Oh my God.
Area.
Oh my God. That was the other thing. He said, tonight Spurs said something about the area of space. And no, it's not measured in area. It's measured in volume. If you're talking about the area of space that touches the Kármán line, then you could define a surface area of what we call space that rests up against the Kármán line. And it would be, the same thing as the surface area of the sphere that has a radius that goes out to the Kármán line. So, yeah. Let's see. Ilya Moon for $2. Just here for Jessica's comments. I know, right, Ilya? She fucking, of all the people, she harasses me the most, and I love it. She's totally in love with me. She loves Alien. Her favorite movie of all time is E.T. And she's like, oh, Team Skeptic looks like E.T., and I'm an Alien lover, so might as well love Team Skeptic.
Well, no, she thinks that you actually were in that.
Yeah, she thinks I was E-fucking-T. The Athens 619 for $5. Here's a question for Skid Mark. Here's a question that Skid Mark refuses to answer. How does a sextant work on a flat Earth? Can you get Jared or Guy's Fuse so he can answer?
It doesn't.
Yeah, it doesn't. Doesn't work. Nerd Angle, we don't need...
Just for anyone that does...
Go ahead.
Sorry, just for anyone that doesn't know, the reason the sextant doesn't work on a flat Earth is because of what happens. So if you're at the North Pole and you use the sextant to, find the angle between Polaris and the horizon, every 69 miles that you move away from the North Pole, the angle reduces by 1 degree. If the Earth was flat, that angle would increase every time. Every 69 miles, it would be a bigger angle. It simply does not work on a flat Earth.
Yeah, exactly. You make a prediction, you go out, you measure something like the angle of Polaris, and you say, if it's flat, it should say this. And you explain it in your methodology as to how you came to that conclusion before you ever took the measurement. And then you go out and you measure it, and you say, does that measurement match my predictions? And if they don't, then you're in fucking trouble. And I'm sorry, Spurs, and all the rest of you fucking flat earth idiots out there, but those observations do not match predictions. All right.
No.
Good point, Athens 619. Nerd Angle for $4.99. We don't need a creator. Spurs, you should read Lawrence Krauss's A Universe from Nothing. Put your money where your mouth is and do some research. Man, I would love to read that. I like Lawrence Krauss. I did read, I can't remember who shared it with me, but I still have the email, so I could always find out. But somebody shared Sean Carroll's, God, what is it? The name of the book. God, dog it. I can't even think of the book right now. I was just thinking about the book, and I can't remember now. Sean Carroll.
I'm rereading at the moment The Voyage of the Beagle and Origin of Species. Actually a really good book.
Something Deeply Hidden. Because I'm a big fan of so I've always been a big fan of the idea of how quantum mechanics, what it means to our reality. Like, we live in a false reality, guys. Everything we see is not as it seems. Everything is made up of tiny, 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 tiny particles interacting with one another at a quantum level. What we see is just the general average of all those, of all those quantum interactions and how we perceive them in our, from a classical standpoint. But keep in mind, everything you see, everything you experience is from the past. So it's all classical. So, but moving forward, everything is all quantum mechanical. Like, in the future, everything is predicted by the Schrodinger equation and how quantum mechanics even describes the classical motion of particles and whatnot. So I've always been fascinated about it, and I've always had this fundamental disagreement with the Copenhagen interpretation. Even though in my earlier days of being on YouTube, you'd hear me talk about it a lot, but I always had this I just didn't get it. When we talk about something happening in the real world, we always have to have a mechanism to describe why that thing happens. There's very few things that are in this universe that we don't completely understand as to why they happen. And so I always when people would say collapse, when the wave function collapses to a point, I always used to ask myself, well, what is the mechanism by which the waveform collapses? It's never explained. It's just explained as an instantaneous collapse that collapses across, the entire universe instantaneously. So I found out about mini worlds and I started looking into it, and I was like, wow, this has a lot better of an explanation. Even though it sounds more counterintuitive, it does have a better explanation than just jumping from, excluding what the Schrodinger's equation predicts and, focusing on the individual wave function we find ourselves on. So, but that's easy to do when you just want to look at what our wave function is. But if you want to know the whole picture, you have to look at the whole picture as though the universe is splitting into different worlds. Whether you want to look at it as splitting into different worlds, or you want to look at it as becoming you're aware of less wave functions, however you want to look at it is fine. But I do think that the theories or the postulates and hypotheses around many worlds would be more correct and more explainable using what we already understand. I don't know why I went on that tangent.
So you're saying it's not magic?
No, it's not magic. 100% not magic. And that's the biggest frustration in the world is to hear people talk about quantum mechanics as if it's magic. It's not magic. It's fundamental reality. That's what it really is. It's the most fundamental basis of reality.
That we don't fully understand yet.
Yeah, we don't fully understand. We understand principles of quantum mechanics, and we are one day will be able to have a better understanding of it. But it's still, it's hard to work with quantum systems because back in the day you only had, the equipment wasn't good enough. Everything you were using, everything is a quantum system. So anytime you make a measurement, you're using your one quantum system is interacting with another quantum system, and that provides a problem when you want to know how one quantum system will progress in the future when you're not adding information to it, interacting with it quantumly as well with another quantum system. But that's just right. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of Sean Carroll. I think that's why we started talking about that shit. But go ahead.
Before you carry on with the super chats, I want to play a quick video from one of my new favorite YouTube creators that features the two of us. So can you make me full screen again?
Yeah, go ahead.
Guys, if you haven't subscribed to this guy, Flat Derp, he's amazing. Let me just make sure the audio is on. Yeah, enjoy.
And so let's just say if they want a dishonored head that bad, let's just give them one. Now, we're not going to hurt anybody. You just kind of hold them down for, what does it take, 2 minutes? Get a good one, and they're done. They're shaven.
The prisoners, they listen to you. For some reason, they look to you like you're the leader. I got news for you. In here, you're the leader. Oh, shit.
Fuck you. You suck fuck.
Ha! Ha!
Oh my god. That is so fucking
smiling.
Awesome. You want to send a message? Let's send a message. Saddle up. Saddle up.
Whoa. Well, I've been drinking urine now for 6 years. I got into it in May 2011.
Hi, everybody. We have a wonderful audience. I'll be here all week. Be sure to tip your waitress.
Oh my god.
Man, That is so fucking
Oh my
cool,
god,
man.
Flat Derp, you're
Derp.
fucking amazing.
Thank you for joining in YouTube and beginning when you did. Because I need more of that. I need more of that.
I haven't laughed so hard in a while.
Under no pressure is Spurs in the chat. Okay, I got you. And Spurs, yeah, no problem. Hey, Spurs, I want you to know, man, I appreciate you coming on. I know why you left because it was getting a bit frustrating. No big deal, man. I'm not, I take no offense to you leaving, and I hope you don't take anything personal. And, of course, I'll share your channel because, I don't think you're that bad of a dude. I think you got some fucking flaws, but I don't think you're that bad of a dude. So, all right.
I mean, you're a fucking idiot, but...
Yeah. Ding. And then he shared another video with me, Flat Earth, No Drama, Dr. Anthony Purcell versus Spurs Gizmo. I'd like to, I'm going to check that out, Spurs, because I haven't seen that video yet. But yeah, Flat Derp. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that was the one from my channel, I think.
Oh, is it? Is it just, he just shared the link from your channel? Okay. But yeah. Flat Derp, man, that's amazing, dude. I like that. I like that you're putting in those animations, and they're pretty fucking funny, bro. Like the chick or the bird pecking at Nathan Thompson's penis. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, that was brilliant.
Hilarious.
Flat Derp's channel has just been linked in the chat. Please, 411 people watching. All of you need to go and fucking subscribe to Flat Derp. Honestly, I've binge watched all his videos. They're just fucking hilarious. I love it.
Yeah, I want more Flat Derp, so please do not.
Yeah.
Please. We need a whole fucking cartoon. God damn. That's funny. We need a fucking a Science or Satire short series that goes on where we literally just have fucking Flat Derp make videos like that. Make little 1-minute videos. You're amazing, Flat Derp. Thank you. Daniel Pratt's water heater for $1.99. Bring in Rumpus. I'm done with Spurs. I like Rumpus. I like his aggressive approach to flat earthers. Yeah, he's like me. He's just like me and you. He is very aggressive. He doesn't let them get away with their nonsense. He calls them out when they fucking are trying to be like disingenuous. Good. I'm glad Rumpus is part of this community. Need more people like him.
He chased Spurs off last night on my channel. Like, he would not let Spurs get away with any of his shit. And Spurs like, right, I can't cope with this, I'm going.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm adding Spurs channel to the description. 1 second, guys.
Lucian Andreas says, dude, I can't unsee that. I can't fall asleep anymore. So, sorry, not sorry, I guess.
All right, Spurs. I just added it to the description, man. So again, thank you for coming on tonight. All right, the banner of Hamura Akimi. Oh God, I always fuck it up. The banner of Hamura Akimi.
Hamura Akimi.
Because it's all one long word, and I'm just like, and I do things like that too. I make my shit long. For $2, God of the Gaps fallacy equals Spurs. Yeah, that is a common thing. Like, that's what I said. And I mean, I don't need God to make a prediction of certain things. Sure, if you want to go ahead and apply God to the first 10 to the negative 13 or 31, whatever it happens to be that we have physical evidence for. If you want to apply him before then, totally fine. That's on you. But in the future, we're going to have an explanation of that too, and your God is not going to be hold as strong of a theory. It's not going to hold any predictive powers. And once we have, the science to get beyond where we're limited now, it's going to be perfectly explainable. So time is limited on the God of the Gaps.
Flat Derp subscribers just jumped by about 60.
Ha! I love that.
Keep subscribing, guys. Yeah.
In fact, will you do me a favor, since I'm here and I don't want to go away from these super chats? Will you send me Flat Derp's channel in the in Discord so I can add it to the description as well? Thanks.
Yeah, now. There you go.
JL Truth. We started calling JL Warren JL Truth. I gave him the option of being JL Truth or JM Warren. He went with JL Truth for 24 hours. Oh, and did you see Tony Purcell change his name? Anthony Purcell, I told him that we want to start calling him
Tony.
PhD. I love that, man. PhD Tony. Yes. All right. That's awesome, man. Stoogie _420 became a new member. Everybody, you know what to fucking do. Thank you. New member alert.
Oh,
And then
that does remind me. I received an email today that might actually intrigue you, team. Let me just get up so I can read it to you.
Okay.
There we go. From Ernest E. Matthews, it says, "Hey, Craig and Team Skeptic. The Taco Bell meat tube is real. My wife remembers it clearly in the 90s. It's why she quit eating at Taco Bell."
Boom. I don't need validating evidence. That's enough for me, guys. That's it. I'm done. You guys are wrong. I'm right. Me and the emailer are right. And the rest of you dickweeds who wouldn't believe me is wrong. And if you don't understand how it could possibly happen, God, okay? We're gonna go with the God of the Gaps argument. God. That's how meat tubes exist. And your wife is absolutely sane, okay? So when all her friends are telling her she's insane, be like, nope, no, some random guy from some random YouTube channel, he's also seen the meat tube and was traumatized by it as well. God, I gotta stop saying things like that.
Confirmed in email.
Yeah, I gotta stop saying that a meat tube traumatized me as a kid. People are gonna start taking that wrong. John Watson for €2 or £2. Shame the Polympics have the Polympics have been canceled this year. Oh man, the internet, the Polympics goes on 24/7, 365, and one extra day every 4 years. That's what the internet is for. That's what YouTube is for. Stephen Lane for £2. Who created the creator? A question that will never be. Why do they not have a God of the Gaps?
Yeah, but then the God of the Gaps.
Checkmate this. God of the Gaps is a fucking real thing that now needs to be explained, guys. Because how could God live forever? Oh, but it says in the Bible he lives forever. It says so. Guys, how can you get any more proof than what's in the Bible? It literally says that God lives forever. He's an eternal being. Checkmate, anti-theist, atheist. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, you're right,
Sprinkler
Steve.
in the chat says, Quitties the Sprinkler says, "I love emailing Team and FTFE with random accounts and telling them the meat tube is real."
I'm going to tell you, though, I thought I was traumatized by this meat tube. I really still do, because even eating Taco Bell today, I would rather just lick cardboard, you know? Like, I'd rather fucking lick the inside of fucking one of allegedly Dave's used cups before eating fucking Taco Bell. And it's because I watched them squirt taco meat juice. It was not a meat, it was a meat paste, okay? It was reddish brown paste with grayish
Sounds like
speckles.
Beans to me.
I mean, yeah, it's probably closer to beans than it was actual meat, but that's why I was traumatized. That's why I can look at it and remember seeing the gray specks in it and going, wow, that's the meat. Like, that's not meat. Ugh, even thinking about it today makes my stomach turn. All right, Stugel, and I saw your super chat. Stugel 420 for $5. I used to be Steve. Oh, that's Steve O ST619 and was a member, but changed my tag. And COVID started fudging with my money. Started fudging with my money finally. Well, hey, Steve-O, I'm glad that you're here, man. Stugel, and don't worry about the membership stuff right now. One thing that I want you guys to know is that if you normally super chat, you normally like to support the channel, and you find yourself in a position that you can't support the channel, don't donate. Don't become a member, because it's not about funding me. It's about you right now. Always remember that. Keep that in the forefront of your mind, not in the back of your mind, but in the forefront of your mind, that we don't know how things are going to be in 6 months, and that some of this may be necessary to keep to yourself right now. And I appreciate everybody's super chat, and I truly do, but I do not want to be responsible for anybody putting themselves in a financial situation given this pandemic. So thank you so much, Stugel420, for the $5, and I appreciate it. JL Truth for $1.99. I'm not calling you JL Warren, bro. JL Truth for $1.99. This is structured deception. Yeah, I did like the fact that he continued to go 0.1 by. That's a 0.1 by me. Really? So you're not just the referee, the coach, the team, but you're also the scorekeeper. That's fucking rich of you. John Watson for John Watson. When I asked him what pi was, for £2 3.1415927, which is pi. Jessica G for $2. Break him, team, like your car window. Ouch, Jesus. Like, I know that you donate and you offered money to fix my window, but now you're going to need to donate and offer money to fix my fucking ego because you break it with every super chat, Jessica. No, I'm just kidding. You know I love you and you love me because I'm an alien and you're an alien lover. FTFE for €20 or £20. Team Skeptic is the Morgile. Please, just listen. Ask yourself, have you ever seen Team Skeptic and the Morgile in the same room at the same time? Let me answer that question for you. No. No, you haven't. And that, therefore, is 100% proof that Team Skeptic is indeed the Morgile confirmed. You see how I do
You can't deny it, really.
I think I should just read every super chat in a dramatic fashion. And thank you for the super chat fight, but you know, of all people, you don't have to super chat me. You being here helps me out. I know, man, but just, you know, I don't know. I try to be, I don't know. I appreciate it. I appreciate it more than anything in the world. I just can't reciprocate, and it kind of makes me feel bad. So,
no,
John,
it's not for reciprocating, honestly.
I know. And I know you don't expect that, but it's just, I don't know. It's hard to have good friends like you.
I mean, the hand jobs, and the reach arounds is all I need.
Yeah, you know. Take everything I just said about good friends back. This is now my anti-friend. Fuck, man, I can't even fucking compliment you without you getting fucking big-headed and non-modest on me. Throwing around meat tubes and emails.
Well, I got to look after the little channels, haven't I?
Hey, oh my God. Put a 1 in the chat. Before I ask the question to the chat, I want you to put a 1 in the chat if you saw MC Toon's debate last night with, I can't remember his name, but it was the
Mad Philosopher.
No, not him. There was a guy after that.
Oh, the guy after that, the 5G guy.
The 5G guy, yeah. I need to know, before I ask this question of the audience, I need to know who was there. Great, I fucking forgot the question I was going to ask. Let me see. Shit, it was about something that he said that was so dumb. And now I can't even remember. Wow, he said one of the dumbest things I've ever heard him say, and it just hit my mind right now because we were talking about it. And I was just like, oh my God, I can't believe that this guy said this last night. I'll remember it. But hey, regardless of that, I'll eventually remember. But if you have not seen that live stream, you need. Oh, I do remember what it was because we were talking about emails. This guy literally said, what happens when two emails that are coming to your phone run into each other?
What?
Yes, he fucking said that, fight. He said, what happens when two emails run into each other in the air?
Does he not know what bandwidth is?
No, it was hilarious. I mean, he was literally talking as if emails are like physical objects that travel in the air to the phone and that they could run into each other and fucking annihilate, I guess, or crash. But yes, that did happen last night, and it's a perfect fucking reason why you guys should go watch fucking MC Toon. It was a good conversation. If you want to know the truth, this guy has a serious mental problem, and I'm not talking bad about him. I'm being observant. He had a lot of he was under a lot of confirmation bias, placebo and nocebo effect. I mean, something that anybody from an outside perspective could easily look in and see that there was so much confirmation bias in everything he said. But here's the thing. When you're in your mind, you don't see it as confirmation bias. You just see it as reality, especially if your mind already sees things a certain way or you're more, you're more receptive to suggestion or anything like that. You're going to feel the narrative based on your experience. It's just human nature, you know. But he was on the super paranoid. Like, I mean, he probably really needs to go see somebody and get some help. It's unfortunate. Because he has children, and he was thinking his children were being affected. He was thinking he had like hypersensitivity to EMF. You know what that is, right?
Oh yeah, there's actually
Like
a medical, a fake medical term for it, where I was watching a thing the other day on Netflix about a woman who says that she has it, and like she's trying to sue her neighbors for having Wi-Fi and stuff.
Yeah, and there's no evidence to support any of that. There's only evidence to support that it's going to be, you know, there's a lot of evidence to suggest that it's all in your head. In double-blind studies, people who have hypersensitivity to electronics cannot determine which box electronics are in and not in. I mean, it's just they can't do it under double-blind studies. They can only do it when they only feel the effects of the hypersensitivity when they're aware that the electronics are there to begin with. And that right there tells you that it may be a serious condition, but it's not caused by the presence of electromagnetic frequencies or electromagnetic waves or anything. It's caused by the knowing that you're around electromagnetic waves. Just the simple, you know, the mental knowledge of electromagnetic or electronics around you forces you to have these symptoms. You believe them. And if you're already suggested or you know prone to suggestion, then you know how do you know you're not doing that to your daughter? How do you know you're not putting these thoughts in your daughter's head when he's like, my daughter's in pain? He said, my father died, and the coroner or the mortician said his face was a bit red, and it was similar to these symptoms. And it's like, that's a mortician. What did the coroner say? What did the medical examiner say? You know, did they detect any anomalies that couldn't be explained? And you know, I don't want to get into breaking him down because I'm not talking shit about him. I just think that he's in a serious mental state that he needs to address. And I hope he does. For his kids' sake, for his own sake, I really hope he gets some help.
Yeah. Brainy sent me a meme if you want to make me full screen a sec.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Brainy, yeah, okay. That's exactly what he's talking about that from last night.
Yeah. Brilliant, Brainy.
Yeah. All right. Let me go. Okay. John Watson for £2 says Spurs equals tactical stupidity. He's pretty tactical with it, but that's why I believe he is a Poe, guys. I do believe that Spurs is a Poe, and bringing him on is for entertainment purposes only, especially tonight with the that's another point for me. Yeah, a point in the losers column. That's fine. Every winner has to have a loser to accompany him, and you know when we win, you're our loser. Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. The banner of Homura Akimi for $2. I said it right that time. You spin me right round, baby, right round. Yeah, exactly.
Baby, right round.
That's the other thing. Nobody puts spin on an electron. An electron just has spin. It has fundamental mass. It has fundamental spin. It has fundamental charge. That's what you just have to understand about an electron. If you don't get it, if you think somebody took every single fucking electron and rubbed it up against a full wool carpet to give it its electric charge, you're just insane. It's a fundamental property. It's a fundamental particle first off, and then it's a fundamental property of the fundamental particle. Sleepy Dan for $2. I assert Spurs is a chipmunk. I won this point. Yes, you did, Sleepy Dan. Yes, you did. Jessica G for $2. Things that don't spin. Wheels on team's broken car. How did you know I had a broken car? Yeah, god damn. Relentless. The banner of Homura. I bet she's the one that broke into my car. She's probably hunted me down and all that shit. The banner of Homura Akimi.
Sorry.
That's what the $20 donation was for. You're starting to feel bad. The banner of Homura Akimi for $5. I would like evidence for Spurs creator God, but I doubt he'll ever show it. But instead, he'll just assert it. Yeah, so here's was his thought process as far as I could tell, okay? Everything with information must have a creator. Information exists, therefore a creator must exist. But none of that's nonsensical. It's nonsense. It just doesn't make sense. It's a non sequitur. It doesn't follow. The argument doesn't logically follow. Okay, so a good way to I'm trying to think of a good analogy. But I can't think of a good one. A good analogy to just give you that would be easy to understand that. You just, without proof that God is responsible for being a necessity for information, without proving that to be a fact, you can't just also assert that information exists and God must exist as well. Okay. Here's a good thing. You see if a plane crashes into a valley, it leaves marks all over the place and debris all over the place, right? Now, if you go and you see debris all over the place and marks all over the place, is it only possible if a plane crashed? No, it's not. They're not mutually exclusive. So the idea, I guess, like what I'm trying to say is that information, without the proof of that a God exists, without proof that there's a mutual inclusivity between information and God, then there's no way to form the second half of the argument, that God must exist because information exists as well. I don't know. I hope that makes sense.
Hey team, just in another browser window, apparently there's video evidence of the meat tube. You just need to go to meatspin.com.
No, I'm not going there. Meatspin.com.
I just went there and I wish I
you.
didn't.
I've never been to that website and I know better than to go there. Christ Puncher for $2 Canadian. Spurs, what color is a red fire truck? Why are you trying to confuse him, Christ Puncher?
Green.
Yeah. I'm starting answering
but
with
is
wavelengths.
it a fire truck? Have you? What experiment do you have to prove that it's a fire truck?
What's
what was
red?
The independent variable?
It's red like 640 nanometers. Oh, I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna start answering when people ask questions like that. What color is red? I'm gonna answer in nanometers.
Who was it in the chat that said about meatspin.com?
It's 635.
I don't think I can unsee that.
Or we'll say 650. So what color is a red fire truck, Christ Puncher? Well, it's 650 nanometers. That's what color it is. That's actually, well, it's the same thing, I guess. I don't know. I'm trying to get funny with colorblind people now. Basic trigonometry for basic trigonometry for €2. Come on, baby. Don't fear the rumpus. Yeah, man, rumpus. Are you out there? If you're out there, tag yourself in the chat. I'll bring you on, let you scream at Fight for a little bit. God dog it. There was something else I was going to say to you, Fight. Oh, Fight, did you happen to catch J.O. Warren's performance on Modern Day Debate?
I did, and I thought he was an excellent stand-in for me.
Yes, he was. He did really fucking good with the last minute. What did you think about my arguments that I presented?
They're solid, well thought out arguments. And what I noticed was that they completely avoided addressing any of your points.
Yeah. I mean, well, they tried, okay, so to give SFT a little bit of credit, we didn't get to chromosome 2. The majority of my citations and evidence to present were all based on chromosome 2, because chromosome 2 is something that, is well understood. It's pretty easy to explain as well. And, the arguments that people have are easily debunked, basically. So I was leading up to point 2, but we never got to it. Like they wanted to stick on the ERVs and the LTR. All they wanted to talk about was how my evidence for ERVs was not sufficient to prove evolution, which I don't get that. By sheer numbers alone, 1 in 50 million that we would have one common ERV, and that's a minimum range. That's the lowest range. 1 in 50 million would be the chances of two ERVs and two separate species being in the exact same location for one ERV. Now, add 1 in 50 million, and then 1 in 50 million, and then 1 in 50 million, and do that again 16 times for K-class ERVs. One specific class of family for ERVs, and that's one of many. So those right there, that is, I see now why so many people said, hey, look into ERVs on that first debate we had, when they were like, yeah, y'all did great, but look into ERVs. Those are the real proof. Well, even stronger than the ERVs is the LTR to LTR discontinuity, where we know for a fact, okay, that when a retrovirus inserts itself, the two LTR sites are identical. They have to be. So basically, they are inverses of each other, right? Because it'd be like, it'd be like taking Legos and saying that, if you had to have a blue match with a yellow, then when you take the blue off, the other side of the LTR needs to be matching what the other side of the insertion point is. Okay, so blue always matches up with yellow on the Lego. So when you insert your retrovirus in, one LTR site better be blue to match up with the yellow. If it's not, it won't match up. It has to be identical. And the place on the other side of the LTR site, that's where the original blue spot was, and you cut out the yellow. So that side, for it to match up, better be a yellow Lego. So when they come together, those two sites are identical, blue matching up with yellow. Now, given time, what evolution predicts is that given time, you should see random mutations occur at these two sites. Now, if we looked back at all the shared ERVs and we all had the exact same continuity between the 2 points, the two LTR sites remained identical, then that would be a falsifying instance of what evolution predicts. Evolution predicts there to be not only mutations, but that if the ERV is shared further back in time, we'll have more species that have the ERV shared amongst each other, and the discontinuity will be representative of the phylogenetic tree. So, let's say we share a ERV with the old world monkeys. Well, all the recent primates that we come from will also have that ERV along with the old world monkeys. But because our common ancestor was much further back, that ERV site, the LTRs between us and chimpanzees, should show less discontinuity than the LTR sites between us and old world monkeys. And that's exactly what we see. And that, to me, is stronger than ERVs. And they involve ERVs. But it's stronger than the ERV itself, than the fact that there's two identical ERVs in the same spot. To me, the LTR site discontinuity is stronger than the presence of an ERV, or the location of the ERV. Now, here's the thing. Here's where it fucking kills any creationist, and they refuse to address this. They can't address the LTR to LTR discontinuity. They just don't have an argument for it. There is no legitimate argument for that. But where it kills it is that the presence of the ERV is one mechanism. The mutation of the LTR sites are another mechanism. Both mechanisms are independently predicted by the theory of evolution. So that's two instances that have nothing to do with each other that are both perfectly predicted by that model. And genetics wasn't discovered until the 70s, and the genetic trees, the phylogenetic trees, were back from before the 1900s, I believe. I think that Darwin, I'd have to go look this up, but I believe Darwin was before 1900. Let me see, just to double check. 1859. So yeah, that's those are two independent things, and they just didn't have an answer for that. The chromosome 2 shows a direct evidence that we share a common ancestor with a chimpanzee, but it's just, I don't think that it's as strong as the LTR sites. I don't think it's as strong as the ERV evidence either, but there is more, it's easier to understand how chromosome 2 points to a direct descendant from a common ancestor with the chimpanzee. Sorry, I know everybody's here for flat Earth stuff, but had to talk my evolution. I've tried to learn a lot, but anyway, yeah. So you thought the debate went pretty well for us?
Yeah, it was a clear win for the evolution side.
Yep, cool. $6.66 Sorry. Can Spurs or Bev explain how siphoning liquids from one level to another works if there's no such thing as gravity or air pressure? Good point. I've never brought that up. I've never brought up like siphoning and how like the air pressure actually makes that work. Air pressure and gravity. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to let my dog out. You go potty? Siphon. Come here.
Need to go potty. Oh man. I am knackered from debating flurfs. Like, it's done my head in, honestly, guys. If anyone wants to send me some medical help, that would be appreciated. I think I've lost most of my brain cells.
Yeah, I definitely need some brain cell replacement. All right, let's see. Jessica G for $2. Team, the coughing is annoying. Oh, wait, that's just your voice. Yes, it's my voice. Greg,
Jessica loves you.
She does. I have a stalker, guys. Her name is Jessica. Greg Desiatov says for $5 Aussie. Aussie.
Oi.
Right. If Spurs doesn't accept cartoons and illustrations, then how does he know which toilet to walk into? Exactly. It probably still confuses him, to be honest. JL Truth for $4.99 at FTFE. I would love to debate his theist position if he's up for it. I'm sure that he would be up for that. What do you think, Fight?
Yeah.
I think Spurs would be up for...
I reckon that Spurs would be up, yeah. He seems to want to argue anything, really, doesn't he?
All right. FTFE for €5. Can someone tell me why Try Thinking Bev looks like a reject from System of a Down frontman auditions? I've never seen a picture of Bev. I've just never seen it. So I couldn't tell you if he looks like somebody from System.
Just imagine a reject from System of a Down auditions, and that's Bev. You got that image in your head?
5'2", no hair, looks older than he is, and little. Just
Stupid
little all the
beard.
way around. Little all the way around.
I think little is definitely right.
But I think I'm getting little just because he has kind of a higher pitched voice. Doesn't sound like he had a lot of testosterone in him to help him grow as a kid.
Yeah, that's true.
Are you going to show a picture of him, or am I just going to have to guess?
No, I don't have one to hand right now. I just want you to guess. Just imagine it. It's fine.
So you don't know what he looks like. You're just saying it.
No, I have seen a picture of him. I just don't have one to hand right now.
Oh, fuck. All right. Greg Disiatop for $2 Aussie. Are not all the images in the Bible illustrations? Yeah, absolutely they are. Stringer News 1. That's actually a good point. That's what I was saying. It's like he doesn't Spurs. You got to understand what an actual like demonstration is. What the difference is. You know, I can draw something out to demonstrate something, and you could still go test it. You could still go take it and say, you know, here's what he said he did. This is the distance he was at. These are the measurements he got. I should be able to recreate this. And you go in and you recreate it. If it doesn't match up, then either you did something wrong or he did something wrong. Bottom line, you can't have it both ways. But that's the purpose of doing demonstrations and experiments. Stringer News 1, $5. Spurs is like Goober Pyle screaming, "Citizens arrest! Citizens arrest!" Yeah, that lady, the lady from my video today that was saying, all of you guys are about to be citizens arrested by God. Oh, man, those Karens are crazy. If you haven't seen my Karen video from today, you need to go watch it. It's a good one. I thought that was one of my better videos, and I put very little graphic effort into it. It was just jokes. I didn't feel like I was pushing calling them an idiot. I didn't think my jokes were too out of line. Some of them were a bit racy, but they weren't too out of line. GI Soundwave became a new member. Hell, the fuck yeah, baby. Here we go. You just need to see one thing and only
Fake
one
meat
thing,
tubes.
sir. Right there. That's for you. All them fucking meat tubes and those mankinis barely being hidden. That's for you, bud. Stugel 420 for $5. So, at Spurs, why do other planets like Jupiter and Saturn still show clouds? They also have a pressure gradient, so the clouds don't leave. Not to mention, Stugel, anybody with a powerful enough optical device can look up at Jupiter and see its moons orbiting Jupiter. Not just see its moons orbiting Jupiter, but you can also see the moon's shadow on the surface of Jupiter. They just don't explain things like this. It's never given. I was talking about the Galilean satellites earlier. That's the Galilean moons that we're talking about now. We can look from Earth's surface and see the moons orbiting Jupiter. Sorry, flat earthers. The Earth's not flat. You guys are a bunch of fucking idiots.
Damn.
Bella Charge for two New Zealand dollars. What up, Skep bitch? Bella always has to come in with that right there every single time. That's how you know the party's gotten started. When Bella throws his super chat up that says, "What up, Skep bitch?" The party has just started. Jessica G, $2. Spurs, you're making team look smart. Stop it. You hear that, Spurs? You made me look smart. You made me look smart tonight, bud. I appreciate it. Anything to piss off Jessica G is okay with me. Martin C for $2 Canadian. What is the pressure of one atom of hydrogen? Hey, I would love to hear them say that. I would love to hear their answer for that. I guarantee you they would not know what the pressure is of one atom of anything. All right. 3 Ron for $2. Dumbass Spurs couldn't explain how Velcro works. Yeah, he probably couldn't. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to let my dog back in. All right, guys. All right, I'm back. All right. Jeff Roberts for $4.99 at FTFE. Spurs just said magnetism is a pulling force. Can you remind him he did not accept that yesterday when you said it? I think
should have reminded him.
Spurs might still be in the chat. I'm sure he can. No, he's not in the chat anymore. He must have gone to bed. I was going to say, Spurs, if you're in the chat, go ahead and answer that question for us. Jessica G. Of course, you know where this one's going, right? Team, you're the sidekick. Let Batman speak, please. Batman? Did I not? I think I let you speak today. You fucking went off on him. You did really well.
Yeah. I had a lot of fun tonight.
I can't wait till
Let
I'm
loose
back on
after
top.
my trying to be nice.
I honestly just cannot wait till I'm back on top of you, so I don't have to be the bottom bitch anymore.
I mean, you do realize what you just said, yeah?
Oh, I'm admitting my place right now. It's unfortunate because I have people like Jessica G to remind me, but yes. Edward Elric for $5. Stop cherry picking Newton. You don't get to pick and choose what he says to prove your stupid point. And when the flip did apples become magnets, dumb fuck of the year. Yes, exactly. And I want to point that out. I allowed him to use Newton's first law, right? Because it was going to come to my benefit. Because you can't just say Newton's first law, and then when I say, okay, well, why, given Newton's first law, if I just remove the ground from underneath it, the object shouldn't fall. It should just float. But it falls. Why? You know? Like when...
Magic.
Yeah. You know, and the gallows, when people used to be hanged for, you know, crimes that they committed. They pulled the bottom out from underneath of them. They didn't pull them down. They just released the bottom. And the person sunk down. That's because when there's nothing there to keep you from following your geodesic, you're going to follow your geodesic. And I'll let flat earthers have fun with that one. G1 Soundwave for $2 Canadian. So according to Spurs, everything is a yo-yo. Lol. Yeah, no, it's not even that, Soundwave, because if he thought it was a yo-yo, then when you pull the ground out from underneath the apple, it should fall and then go back up to where it was. But yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah, you're right. According to him, you take something up, it's going to fall to its original potential. And that's incorrect as well. Earl of Sandwich for $5. 10-foot ladder, blindfold, backfill, concrete floor. Spurs, please use these to discover the self-evident force and property of gravity. Exactly. Earl, we need to get you back on, man.
Hurt.
Yeah, we need to get you back on. We had a good conversation the other day. Jackalope Herdmaster for $2. This is for you, John Rapp. I agree. I've not said hello properly to John Rapp today. So let me go ahead and do that before I get to the next super chat. I love the fact that middle fingers they only take up 2 characters. So I can literally put 100 of them up there.
Many as you want.
There you go, John Rapp. That's for you because I love you, man. Oh. And Bearded Devil, thank you, Jackalope. Bearded Devil, 1864 for $5. FTFE and Team Skeptic, when are y'all going to stop feeding the chemo sea lion and start asking the flat earther questions about the flat earth? Yeah, you know, I was going to just let him direct the conversation where he wanted to go. He immediately, when he first started coming up with the God stuff and you know, the presence of energy having a purpose, and then when I started showing him things like the Casimir effect, which have no purpose. I mean, this is something that it serves us no purpose whatsoever, but it's energy that's there. Now, you don't see it, you don't touch it, you don't feel it, you can't use it, but what you can do is you can manipulate the environment to manipulate the force, to see it happen, to witness the presence of these particles. So, yeah. And then when he got to Flat Earth, I don't think he was ready for anything we have to offer on that. Plus, Spurs, man, you need to put that $500 up, bro. We'll give you the charity tomorrow, and you can donate the money to the charity. I'll send it to you via Discord. John Rapp for $2 Aussie. Jackalope Herdmaster triggered me. Good on you, mate. I've already said hi to John Rapp, and everybody seems to be doing it oh so well in the chat right now.
There's only one way to say hi to John Rapp, so everyone needs to do it.
Oh, and then no cure for me, says Team Skeptic. Currently, the key words here is currently is the pillow biter. Technically, to be not so politically correct. Yeah, that's going to change real soon, guys. That's going to change real soon. Okay, I'm just giving his fucking pillows a chance to return from the bite marks that are constantly in it every time we hang out. John Rapp for $2 Aussie.
Let me know what it felt to be number 1 for a while, huh?
Yeah, for just a little bit. John Rapp for $2 Aussie. Spurs, you are just a goldfish, a scratched record. Yes, he is. He says the same thing a lot. He contradicts himself. I don't understand. He contradicts himself. He says one thing. Like he said, two objects can't act on one another without a direct connection between the two. And then you bring up magnets, and he says, well, magnets you can do that with, though. It's a contradiction. You just said it's impossible, and now you're saying it's possible. Irish Demon for $2.99. Go ahead.
I quite enjoy having Spurs on because I feel like he brings new stupid each time.
Yeah, I know. I do enjoy having Spurs on. I know he said some pretty fucked up things in the past, and, you know, I don't support what he says. I would hope that right now that you've changed your ways, Spurs, that you don't think... I don't even know that I've ever seen the actual claim myself. I've just heard other people say that you said some pretty horrible things. But I'd like to keep it as, you know, just a very conversational topic, you know, where we just talk about things. Yeah, things might get a little heated. Fight the Flat Earth might shit on you. But, I mean, hey, that's part of life. When you believe in the Flat Earth, people shit on you. You should be expecting that by now. I mean, I'm sure this isn't the first place. I'm sure YouTube isn't the only place that people shit on flat earthers. In fact, I know it's not because they have a huge Reddit forum. And oh my God, I found a new Reddit forum, guys. This Reddit forum is Reddit.r/flat earth science.
Wow.
It's run by flat earthers.
I think we should just do...
We got to go read
a
them.
video where we just Yeah, let's just do a collab video where we read out some stupid posts on there.
Oh yeah, and they block and ban people all the time too. So I'm not gonna be quoting or commenting on there, so I don't get banned from the thread. I'm just gonna be looking at them. Bearded Devil 1864 for $2. Spurs is committing this sea lioning fallacy. I have no idea. I wonder if that's real. Look that up. Sea lioning. Lioning. I have no idea if it's real or if Bearded Devil is just trolling. Martin C., $2 Canadian. I testify that I did Cavendish as an undergrad. Yeah, it's done thousands and thousands of times a year by undergrads who are trying to get to the next level of physics. As the way I understand it, it's a requirement in certain universities to move forward in your studies. You had to successfully perform the Cavendish experiment.
Well, when I covered it in physics, it wasn't you had to successfully perform it, but you had to explain what it was demonstrating and why.
Ah, okay.
You had to perform the experiment and then explain why it was doing what it was doing. It was very hard to make it successful because there's so many compounding variables. But it's more about just learning the mechanism of why it shows what it shows.
Yeah, and everybody out there.
Sea lioning is a real thing, and it's a type of trolling or harassment which consists of pursuing people with persistent requests for evidence or repeated questions while maintaining a pretense of civility and sincerity. That sounds just like Spurs.
I was just about to say, so Spurs. You literally just explained Spurs to a T. Sir, can you please give me evidence, sir? Evidence that I understand, sir. Oh, PhD Tony, you had me rolling that night. All right.
He's fucking amazing.
I'm glad that he's stepped out into the arena. Oh, another person has stepped out into the arena. For those of you that don't know, a scientist, Thunderfoot, has addressed Nathan Oakley.
Oh, yes, he has. That was a great video.
And if you go back and you look at the history of Thunderfoot, every time he does videos where it's, why do people laugh at? It's usually not a one-off. So, guys, be prepared for some Thunderfoot. And I'm sorry, we may have to go over into Thunderfoot's next video and leave comments saying, hey, come on, Science or Satire. Let's do it. Let's get him on.
Yeah.
That's who I want to bring on. That's like one of the first people I watched was Thunderfoot when I got into YouTube. And I'm amazed by him. I love the work that he does. I love when he showed how counterintuitive it was to think when you create glass that has a vacuum in it instead of an air bubble. What you see is an air bubble because you're used to it. You're used to that being a pocket of air when really it's a vacuum. So you move the water into it, and since it's not actually air, it doesn't have anything. It doesn't need to move through the water to get to the other side. It just appears on the other side. It's fucking amazing. But it's people like him who shoot stuff in slow-mo and do really badass experiments with glass and chemicals. It's fucking awesome. And I love me some Thunderfoot. So I hope he gets into it and starts debunking fucking flat Earth. It's below him, but I hope he gets into it. Kevin Stewart for $5 Canadian. ... When they claim pseudoscience. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the other thing. They use that word as if they understand it to know what it means. I'm sure they think it's spelled SOODOOSYENSE. Bella Charge for $2 New Zealand. Spurs, you're on -5 so far. Yeah, that was funny. Oh, that's another point for me. Yeah, the losers column. I wouldn't be bragging about that, Spurs.
Yeah. It's like he's playing golf.
Yeah, we're not playing golf. The lowest score does not win there, Spurs. All right, the Sun Express for $5. Twerp Chemo is handed a printed paper showing evidence. His argument, how is paper made? As if that refutes anything, right? So let's just say that we can't physically prove that the Big Bang happened. Let's just say that. Does that mean that the Big Bang didn't happen? No. Just means we can't prove that it happened. We can't prove what exactly happened at the moment the universe was created. When time equaled 0, when it began moving forward. We can't say with definity what happened there. But does that mean it didn't happen? No, it doesn't. There was a time when we didn't know that atoms existed. Atoms exist. They existed even during the time that we didn't know they existed. So it's a shitty argument when he says stuff like that. Let's see. Tommy Gronvold for 22 knocks. Why do you keep on feeding the troll? Because you guys fucking love it. Sleepy Dan, and shout out to Tommy Gronvold, and another excellent content creator. Sleepy Dan for $2. Don't touch magnets. You'll get electrocuted. Yeah, that was another dumbass claim.
Fucking yeah.
That magnets have electricity in them.
It's just electricity.
Yeah, he said magnets have electricity. Okay, well then we could ground them then.
I mean, we could measure a potential. He's probably heard that he's probably heard that you can create a magnetic field with an electric current and coils and stuff, and therefore magnets have electricity. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with that stupidity, team.
All right, FTFE for £5, missing 1 brain. If found, please return to Spurs Chemo. No, if found, go ahead and ship that off to some kind of anthropological museum where they can document modern Neanderthals, the brains of modern Neanderthals. Space Monkey for 777 for $5. How do things dropped continue to increase in velocity if there is no acceleration? The medium only defines the terminal velocity. Very good point. And somebody else made this point, and I was trying to get to it, but we never did make it to it. And it was when I brought up the lead sphere. I was going to say, why does the lead sphere fall through the atmosphere at the same rate it falls through a vacuum? It's a great point. And no, something I never really thought about. Yeah, it's just something I never thought about. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, if the acceleration of the object is determined by the medium below it, then any medium should have more resistance than a vacuum, and therefore it should fall at a lower rate if the acceleration is only due to the difference in mediums. Something we know not to be true. Ilya Moon for $5. Team, wrench Jessica. I missed her during slow mode. Oh, Jessica needs to be wrenched now, I see. Oh, Ilya,
so she can abuse you some more.
Pass the message on to Jessica G. No. I would only like her harassment at about once every... Well, I have it on 60 seconds now. Let me turn that down to 30. For a minute, it was getting too fast. But yeah, I had I was enjoying the lack of attack that she was giving me. Oh shit! I just lost my space updating. Let me go back. Oh fuck! We got a long way to go, fight. All right, PhD Tony for $5 Aussie. Observational science is a valid field of scientific endeavor. Shrilly and mindlessly asserting otherwise is simply wrong-headed. Yeah, exactly, PhD Tony. And we're going to have to get you on sometime real soon, bud. Illuminous Poo for $2.
Team, people have been asking to get Tony on for just a science talk.
Yeah, no, I'm okay with that. I'm 100% okay with that. We can probably make that happen sometime this week. We'll work around your schedule, Tony, and we'll put it on one of our 3 channels that we have. We'll definitely get PhD Tony on because I could learn a lot.
100%.
Geophysics is not my forte. Astrophysics are not my forte, and I think I understand astrophysics better than geophysics, which is horrendous. I live on Earth. I should be focusing on what's on. I should at least know the physics of the planet I live on. And I don't. I'm not 100% aware of all of it. So having people like PhD Tony on will help me become more intelligent, or more. I'm sorry, not more intelligent, but more educated. Illuminous Poo for $2. Fight. This guy sets off my red ring. Uh oh.
Yep. It's fucking. Spurs is a very frustrating person to talk to.
Are you not going to pull out your green ring?
No.
Isn't that referencing... I don't want to even say it in case I'm wrong.
Could be referencing Xbox, I don't know.
I thought he was...
Or lanterns. Oh,
yes!
No, red ring. Sorry, the red
That's
ring.
what I'm talking about.
My red ring.
Oh my God, I'm so much more cultured. I'm so much more cultured than you. That's why I was like, I don't want to say it in case I'm wrong, and you kind of know what you're talking about. God, I put so much fucking faith in the wrong person in life.
Rage.
JL Warren for $4.99. For fuck's sake, at this point he's being willfully ignorant. He's not actively listening, and he's just waiting for his turn to speak. You know, like I said, JL Warren, I think he's a Poe. But even being a Poe, you know, we can have some fun with him and proving his Poish beliefs wrong. At least he's not like I don't know, like there's some Poes out there that are just horrible at what they do. I think he's a good listen. He's entertaining to listen to because he's so dumb. Edward Elric for $2. Show us a video of the connection between magnets. Exactly, Edward. He doesn't have that, and it directly violates his previous assertion when it came to gravity. Nerd Angle for $4.99. Welcome to Science or Satire, where Flurf science is made up and the points don't fucking matter. No, they don't. And yes, it is. The Sun Express for $5. 101 years of scrutinizing general relativity, and it still holds true. Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why I'm saying, like, when they did the Galilean satellite tests, they didn't go up there and put them in a bad orbit to test them out. They put them in an orbit that was incorrect and then said, fuck, oh, well, this orbit will allow us to test general relativity. Let's make predictions based on, you know, Einstein's general relativity, and then let's check those predictions against the clocks in the satellite. And sure enough, those predictions matched observational data, which doesn't say that general relativity is 100% true. It just says that our understanding of general relativity is sound. So eventually there will be a theory that supplants general relativity. But for right now, general relativity is the best explanation we have for the curvature of space-time being the cause of gravity, of the apparent force of gravity. Let's see. Nerding. Oh, wait, I just read that one. Just that. Zach Cooper, $4.99. Spurs is not qualified to determine what is evidence and what is not evidence. I'm also pretty sure that he's not qualified to tie his own shoes. Yes.
No, definitely not. I do wonder how people like Spurs manage to eat breakfast without accidentally gouging out one of their eyes.
Let's see. Hold on, I'm trying to find where I'm at. Okay, there it is. Jessica G for $2. Team is winning, unlike his car's window.
Oofed.
I would never even be able to get away from it. Like, it's always going to be insult after insult. Like, at this point, I love you too, Jessica. I'm your favorite alien. Honestly, I really don't mind it. It's so fun to me to watch people fucking roast me. That is part of my character, you know, of this person that I am. I'm like this in real life. You try to fucking make fun of me in real life, I'm not going to go cry about what you say about me. I'm just going to make fun of you back. I'm going to laugh at it and cut back on you, and I'm going to try to cut back on you harder. Unfortunately, Jessica G is winning every single fucking time she cuts on me, though.
Yeah, so. She's demolishing you.
It's like Jessica G 50,000,001, Team Skeptic -6. Godless Scummer for £5, excuse me. I'm putting this super chat up as a stake that Spurs will earn another Dumbfuck of the Year nomination in 2020. 2020 is going to be a hard year for Spurs, man. At least to win Dumbfuck of the Year with Nathan Thompson, J.M. Truth. Who else is out there that said some ultimate dumb? The four-star general. Four-star general. He's got to be up there. Victor. Franz.
Bev is making a good Bed's making a good push for Dumb Fuck of the Year.
Yeah, and as far as debunkies go, we'll be doing a lot of debunky streams this month, and we're gonna hold the vote. Probably we'll start voting at August 1st, and we'll end voting on August 15th, and hold a show like an award ceremony show. That's what I'm looking at around those dates. 3 Ron for $2. I will gladly be the charity for all parties. I bet you will, 3 Ron. Well, guess what? Spurs owes you $500.
Pounds,
whatever the case, well, however he wants to pay. But yeah, it's like I said, he didn't show anything. He just played a video, and like Fight said, I now have the same video with a different narrator saying a different thing. Prove that your video is more right than mine. You can't, not without measurements. So you didn't prove anything. If you can't prove it, then we can prove that water curves. So if you can't prove that all fluids always lay flat, then you've lost.
Let me just quick read an excerpt that somebody sent me. Give me one sec. From a book called Growth Through Innovation. And it's got a whole section on glass and stuff. And it says... So he used a molten tin bath on which the molten glass could flow under the influence of gravity. The success of this process lay in carefully controlling the volume of glass fed onto the bath, where it flattened under its own weight. That is why float glass is not fully flat and why its curvature arc equals the Earth's curvature.
And that's what his argument was?
Not fat. Yeah. So his argument was that it would be flat, except that it would still match the arc of the Earth's curve. Because it's a liquid. It's simple.
Yeah. All right. And then I do want to say for Jessica G that Jessica G has the, when quantifying how cool she is, she has the absolute value of 10 to the negative 17 cool points.
Absolutely. And we will know that's
absolutely.
A negative number.
Oh, Outlaw Jur for $2 Canadian. So close to a Nobel Prize. Not. Yeah, no. Anything these guys say that contradict well-established science would make them, if they could prove it, legitimately write a paper and prove what they're saying, they would be up for a Nobel Prize. They would at least be in the mentioning. If you can refute gravity and general relativity and show that it's nothing more than density, you would definitely get recognition in the scientific community. K-Doc for 59. K-Doc for 5,900 Korean dollars. So some douche is dismissing scientific papers and goes for CGI. Hypocrite, anyone? Yeah, flat earthers by definition are hypocrites. Bad Ron, and thank you very much for the super chat, sir. Bad Ron for $2 Spurs. That container was built flat, not Earth. Exactly. That container's flat, but not Earth. If we lay it down, and like Fight said, you pour that molten glass on the fucking ground, and it will conform to the curvature of the Earth. Matt Rock for $5. All hail Spurs, King Double Standard, showing us cartoons and preaching instead of real evidence like a Glober. Whoopsies. Yeah. and the Casimir effect, like, that's one thing that's documented because it's a very recent thing. It's like 1996 or 1997 when they were able to demonstrate it. And then they've been able to demonstrate it in other ways since then as well. I think that was just a thermal demonstration of how a thermal setup could provide a Casimir effect. They now have electromagnetic Casimir effects that they can create by changing the intensity of electromagnetic waves that are super high frequency or at a high, when I say a high frequency, I'm talking about the frequency at which they change the amplitude. It's either the amplitude or the wavelength. But what it does is it simulates a plate moving back and forth really fast, and that in itself can cause some of these particles to become real, at least in our reference frame for what we're looking at. They become real and they have a real effect on the world around us, which is what the Casimir effect is. All right, Jessica G for $2. Robin, Calm the F down. Let PhD Superman in. I think they're talking about you. Maybe they're talking about Sean Huffer.
Robin. We all know.
No, I'm talking about PhD
say,
Superman, I think, is Sean Huffer. Definitely can't be talking about you. Oh, no, PhD Tony.
Superman's Tony.
PhD Tony is fucking way, that's like PhD God right there to me.
Superman could beat God.
Who created Superman? Godless Scummer for £5. Donation to help Team Skeptic pay off the bet he just lost. Oh, wait. He didn't lose the Spurs. I feel a bit silly sending this now. Yeah, taking your money, Godless Scummer. No, he didn't lose. Or he didn't beat me in the bet. He has to show the bet, or show that he can demonstrate this with calculations and everything else that I can verify, not
actual
some video.
Yeah,
measurements, not some video with some guy who says something. And 5 CHF, which I have no idea what that means. This is from Walter Bislin, and this is somebody who he's not as noticed, in my opinion, as he should be, because so many of us use some of the things he puts out, like the really popular one is the Earth Curve Calculator. And Mr. Bislin, I want to tell you, man, thank you, truly thank you. At some point, I need to bring you on because, again, so many people use the work that you do to help them prove that the Earth is not flat. And, you know, as someone who does that, I need to express my appreciation to you. So, first off, thank you for the super chat. You really didn't need to do all that. I could have brought you. I would have just seen you and tried to recognize you for sure. But 0.2 millimeter bulge over 100 meters is very flat. Flat enough for that application. You know what's funny, Walter, is when I did the video on Daniel Pratt recently, I calculated the drop over 50 meters that would need to be seen. And I didn't have to use the 8-inch per mile squared. I really didn't even have to use your calculator. I could have probably just used your calculator to come up with the answers. But what I did is I went and got an actual like scientific calculator that could go for like 50 or 60 digits, because that's what you need when you're measuring in trigonometry terms, when you're measuring angles that are these small. You can't just round off to 4 digits and get if you round off to 4 digits, you get that there is no drop. You have to go further and further and further in that when you're doing the calculations. But I just used the simple geometry calculations, and sure enough, it came out to exactly what your calculator showed. You know, I mean, like, how is it that me and Walter have no idea who each other is, but we can both come up independently the way that, different methodology.
You're both indoctrinated, obviously.
But how? We've never met each other. We've never done anything together. How is it that I can come up with the same thing?
Because you followed the government indoctrination sheep education. That's why.
That's it. It can't possibly be that it's just because it's true. No, it has to be because we're indoctrinated, Who was it that was saying that trigonometry isn't real? Or somebody was saying trigonometry wasn't real the other night, and I was just like, what? I think it was on...
Bev was saying that trigonometry can't be used in science.
I don't remember who it was. Probably was Bev, to be honest with you, because I was freaking out over it. I was like, are you kidding me? We literally use trigonometry all the fucking time. All right. The Sun Express. But thank you again, Walter, for your contributions to this community, man. We'd be lost without you.
Yeah.
Well, we'd be wandering without you. We wouldn't necessarily be lost, but we would definitely have to use our own calculations of sun position to know in which direction we were heading. The Sun Express for $5, which is something flat earthers can't do. For $5, the molten glass is poured into an engineered mold specifically designed to a certain shape. It conforms to whatever the molten tin does. Yeah, that's the properties of glass. I mean, properties of not glass, but properties of liquids and fluids. They react to the pressures put on them. The tin is the pressure. The water, the liquid glass wants to continue going down. The tin forces it up into a particular position. That's not your experiment, Spurs. We want you to show flatness over a specific area, and we want to know what your methodology is by getting this flatness, by determining how flat it is, and we want to see your measurements that you took. That's it. You do that, I'll donate $500 to charity if you can show that it's flat. And no, self-confirmation does not count. It needs to be verified by an independent source. Godless Scummer for €2. Rage quit by a flurf. How original. Yeah, it was a bit of a rage quit. He left on his own accord, but I'm not going to count that as a rage quit because he did say bye. Rage quits are when they get so mad they just dip out. But, yeah, I guess Fight, you could put that on your rage quit counter because you kind of made him rage quit, if anybody did.
Yeah, I'll chalk that up to 13 now.
The Banner of Hamura Akimi for $2. Angry FTFE is my new favorite waifu. Got a fan out there?
Oh, I do let loose sometimes.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I have no problem getting crunk right now at all. But just with everything, the fact that I was tired, I stayed up. The video I put out this morning, I literally started writing and recording that at 11 p.m. last night and put it out at 10 a.m. this morning. So the way I do my visuals, I can't, until I get a sound curtain up that's like a blackout curtain to block off all the additional light coming in, I can't record at any other time but the evening time because I want that darked out look. I like that look about me. I think it fits my persona very well, you know? So I always
less of your face is always good.
Exactly. And anything to do to, help maintain a higher population across the world because we know if my face is too bright, people will become sterilized and lose hearing as well because don't forget, light is sound and sound is light. But yeah, I spent up all night, so I was just out of it and then going outside, seeing the car got broken into and come back in having and I'm telling you, it was so weird. The moment we started, and I'm not having them now, but the moment we started, I started having these insane cold sweats were just pouring over my body. And then and then you took over and I was like, okay, good. At least Fight can handle this for a second. And then I got my senses back and that's when I was like, okay. FTFE from Zach Hooper, 199. What's the rage quit counter up to? And yes, 13. That's what he 13. Said, right? Yes, 13. Yeah. Thank you, Zach Hooper. Commander Darklight, woohoo! For $38.99 Aussie dollars. Money for your patience. Well done, boys. Well, thank you, Commander Darklight. I appreciate it, sir. And I'm not going to classify myself as patient. I guess I do have a little bit of patience, but I get pretty impatient with these people. I just think that I'm learning to hold back my anger more. But then again, there was tonight, I started talking and I was so passionate about what I was talking about that it comes across as anger. It comes across as, like I'm upset about something. I'm not upset about anything. This is like me. This is who I am. If you knew me in real life, you would understand what I'm talking about. You'd be like, yeah, that's just the way Team is. He's an asshole. Calls bullshit out when he sees it. Stringer News 1 for $5. Quitters never win, and winners never quit. Sorry, Quitties. Quitties the sprinkler. Yes. I don't quit, Stringer. I would rather take my L and learn from my L than just quit and run away. John Rapp for $2 Aussie dollars. Thank you, sir. Spurs took hands off of his ears and threw them up. Yep. He's done. He's like, I can't not hear them anymore. I might as well leave. The Plot Hole for $2. Plot Hole U-Boat party tonight. We've got raffles. Ooh, shit. Are you being serious? On your channel, you're going to have a, let's see, you're going to have a U-Boat party? Nice. And then Darklight says, so you're saying you like a dark light. I like a dark light. A super dark light. The darker, the better, in fact. I like black lights. Real black lights. Not the black light that you get from Spencer's, but the light that emits no light. I love that. It's my favorite. Earl of Sandwich for $2. I'm FTFE, and I buy T-shirts at the Scuba Gear store. Fight the tight shirt. Yeah. Exactly. Stugel 420
Yeah.
for $2. I like Google. Stugel. Oh, he says like Google. Stugel 420. Yeah, that's what I was saying earlier when I got to your next super chat. I was like, oh shit, I just saw that other super chat come in. Stugel 420. Thank you, sir. I do appreciate it. God's Auditor for $2. No Taco Bell? American citizenship revoked. I'll eat their... Let's see. When it comes to Taco Bell, I will eat their bean burrito. But I will get it with no onions, no cheese, and extra bean sauce, I guess is what they call it. I don't even know what they call it. I'll also eat their cinnamon chips. Cinnamon chips are amazing, but then again, there is no squirting of any liquid meat onto a cinnamon chip to make cinnamon chips. So I think I'm safe there. But I do like Wendy's, Whataburger. I fucking hate McDonald's. Wendy's and Whataburger, that's what I like. Jack in the Box is okay. Basic trigonometry for $1.99 or $1.99 pound. If you don't get Jessica G's chats, you have no SOH. Oh, no. Basic trigonometry. I 100% get Jessica G. My sense of humor is up there. I just have to fuck with her back a little bit. I can't just let her steamroll over me. I got to fight back a little bit. But
you fail, but you can try.
Yeah, well, she's the one that loves aliens, so I don't think I'm the one that's failing here. Astro Kid for $10. Thanks, Team Skeptic. You destroying Flatardia with some funny jokes is getting me through some hard times. Astro, man, reading super chats like that just helps keep me motivated to continue doing what I'm doing. And, you know, I even question myself, guys. You know, I mean, like, you got to understand, I question myself because you have to. You can't grow without questioning the things you do. So sometimes I question myself, am I too vulgar? Are some of my jokes too out there? Like, I'm sure there's people that have gotten 60% through one of my videos saying, God damn, I love this guy. And said, after one joke, go, nope, not after that. Fuck this guy. I'm not subscribing. My material is definitely more for the thick-skinned individual, the non-PC crowd. Definitely, that crowd is going to find my stuff more entertaining. And people who are super PC are going to find an issue with every single video that I do. So when I hear stuff like that, Astro, it really makes me feel good that what I'm doing is making a difference, at least to somebody. At least there's some fuckhead out there like me that's so demented that he finds my jokes funny. Although my Karen jokes were pretty good this time around. I did have I told that one the one Hispanic girl that was pointing at everybody. I was like, why don't you take that finger, stick it in the hole you pulled it out of, and go sit down. All right, Godless Scummer. But thank you again, Astro Kid, man. If you ever need to talk, I'm here. Godless Scummer for €5, £5. God damn it. I need glasses now. That's my next thing, is I got to go get my vision checked out. Hi, I'm Team Skeptic, and I'm Morecambe to FTFE's Wise. I got to look up what Morecambe means. Morecambe, that's how it's pronounced. You don't know that? It's in England, you weirdo. If that's what he means.
I live in Scotland.
So, that's England, basically. Unsubscribe.
Scotland's just a little village. Scotland's a little village in England.
Is it really? Scotland is? Inform me,
just
asshole. I'm trying to learn.
Texas is a little village in America, right? Same thing.
No, Rhode Island is a little village in America.
Oh, no. Scotland's its own country of 5 million people that all like haggis.
So y'all aren't English? You're not English?
No.
You're fucking moron. I've been telling
British.
everybody. The fuck does that mean?
My family originally comes from Scotland, but I was raised in Bristol, and now I live back in Scotland. So I'm a mishmash.
Why aren't y'all like two states of the same country, like America?
Because America sucks.
America rocks. Stugel420 for $2. Email cross swords like you and fight. Emails cross swords like you and fight. Never cross the stream fight. No, it was so hilarious. I wasn't on the panel. I was in the chat when he said that. And in fact, I was telling people bye because I was about to go work on my video from MC Tune's stream, and I was like, oh, fuck, he did not say emails hit each other midair. And I was like, I can't even go work on my video, and after he said that, I have to watch this video now. And I stayed around for like another 2 hours just listening to him. Like, it was unfortunate. Like I said, it's unfortunate because he did have, he does have a mental condition, but the truth of the matter is it's all in his head. Like, everything he's experiencing is in his head. He was talking about wearing, like, he says that these RF signals are poking small holes through your body, and that he has to wear a vest to keep him from poking holes in his chest, and stuff like along that nature. And I'm like, I mean, the man wears a military vest. Yes, the man wears a military vest that protects him from EMF radiation. But what he fails to realize is that his arms aren't covered by the vest, and neither is his fucking head. Like, whatever damage that was going to be done to his chest has now been done to his arms, legs, nuts, head, brain, ears, eyes, neck, everything except for the torso. Hell, it didn't even have protection on the sides. Like, everything you're protecting from the forward coming through your chest is negated by the fact that the same wavelengths can enter in through the side. He was talking about things of like how if data sent to the phone heats up. Yeah, that fucking makes sense. Because when you receive data, your phone has to process it, giving off waste heat. Hot phone's going to get hot. You know what else gets hot? And it's a weird coincidence. My fucking memory card when I record my videos, it gets super hot. Why is that?
Magic.
Magic, exactly. Brainy Beaver for $2 Canadian. Check your Discord DM. Meme about oh yeah. Yeah, we just saw that, Brainy. Meme about colliding emails. That was a really good meme. I hope you made that one. I'll have to go back and look at my Discord in a minute. Oh, he made it. Good. That was a funny-ass meme I saw. Yeah, let me go ahead and put that up. I mean, he literally said this shit. This shit was hilarious. Glass Monster for $2. Have I turned a me peeing on the Flat Earth t-shirt yet? Have I turned a Flat Earth t-shirt yet? Maybe? Team Skeptic urinating on Flat Earth t-shirt yet? I don't understand, Glass Monster. You can tag me though. You don't have to super chat. Just tag me and I'll try to catch it in the in the chat. Let's see. Oh shit, just jumped on me. Okay, we're almost done, guys. Hell the spirit world because the DMT world exists. Yeah, right? Like, anytime, are those words? You know, I almost did. I've never done it before, but I'm not really into taking drugs, number one. I like smoking weed, but that's like the only thing you ever find me doing. I'll drink a little bit of alcohol, but it's literally the only thing that's classified as a fucking, like, narcotic that you're going to find me doing. I can get prescribed opiates, and I don't take them because I just don't like the feeling they give me. I just don't think I'm my best me. When I'm smoking weed, I don't feel like I'm any better or worse. But at the same time, like when I take an opiate, I feel different. Like I'm not the same person. So when a buddy of mine said when I was doing my float tanks, he was like, "Oh man, we need to hit DMT and lay down in the float tanks and go on a ride." And I was like, "Bro, I've never done DMT in my life. How the fuck am I going to act on this thing? Like, you can't." I mean, to me, I would think it's like something similar to taking mushrooms or something. And I'm not against it, but at the same time, I just did not know what it was going to do to me. Whether it was, if I was to have a good experience or a bad experience. Float tanks can be some serious shit on your mind.
I've been told that when you take DMT, it's like an instant acid trip that is quite short. I mean, I think I'd be interested in trying it, but it's not.
Well,
I'm
yeah.
saying
So
I don't do drugs or anything. I came off the opioids because I hated the way they were making me feel. I smoke weed because it helps with the pain. I barely drink. I have tequila sometimes when I'm talking to flat earthers, but I think I would try DMT once. I think.
No, yeah, I would something like that. I wouldn't have a problem trying. I just don't do anything outside of smoking and drinking regularly. As a kid, I did a lot of like mushrooms. I really like mushrooms. I don't do them as an adult, but when I used to do them, I used to get such like it would give me such like a really euphoric experience, like a euphoric feeling. I didn't see things. I mean, I had visuals, but I didn't ever go like see this entirely different world or anything like that. It was just always felt like it was just taking my mind off of stress and every time I've done mushrooms, I've always felt like I was the highest I've ever been in my life. So at DMT, I wouldn't have a problem trying, but I would need to make sure. I would just need to do my own research on it to make sure there's no side effects on the body and shit. Stugel 420. Oh, I just read that one. For $5, hail the spirit world because the DMT world exists. Jessica G for $2. The plot hole 500 sub stream at 7:45 Pacific, 9:45. Oh shit, he's probably already started. I'll get through these super chats and we'll kick it over there. Glass Monster for $2 Canadian. I have all of TF's contact. We are working together. Who's TF? I wonder who that is.
I'm not sure. I saw that.
Bodie McBoatface for $5 New Zealand dollars. Apparently, I missed the meat tube. No, you didn't, Bodie. Craig has absolute proof in the form of an email sent by a random person that the meat tube existed because his wife saw it when she was younger. There's no refuting that. That is all the evidence.
Like 100% evidence.
That's all the evidence I'll ever fucking need. So thank you, whoever gave me that sufficiently evidenced proof. John Rapp for $2 Aussie dollars. There's something wrong with that meat tube. JG 2020. Jessica G. Oh, speaking of JG, Jessica G, $2. The plot hole live when team is done being amazing. Yeah, we're gonna be done right here. I got 2 more super chats and then we're fucking out of here. Jessica G, of course, being one of them. Team Skeptic, you're number 1. Everyone else is not. And Jessica G, you're number 2, and everyone other than one person is not. Boom, boom. I'm better. No, I'm just kidding, Jessica. You're amazing, and thank you so much for your support. I do truly appreciate it, and I will stand by this. I do not have a problem being roasted. I appreciate you guys being active. I appreciate you guys keeping me on my toes. And, where I come from when I used to do the hip-hop shows, what you do, you get better at insulting people when you let them insult you and feed off of it in a joking manner. When I'm talking about insulting in a joking manner. That's why I encourage you guys to roast me. It raises the level of my wit because you guys are roasting me. So again, Jessica, thank you. Thank you so much for everything. I truly appreciate it. And Godless Scummer for the final super chat of the night for £2 at FTFE. FTFE isn't Scotland. Fife isn't Scotland. It's a separate kingdom. FTFE.
Well, it's called the Kingdom of Fife, but it's still in Scotland.
So who's lying?
Neither. I mean, it's part of Scotland. It's just called the Kingdom of Fife. It's just the county in Scotland. I don't know why maybe it used to be a separate kingdom, but it's not anymore.
So the Scottish people lost out. They weren't tough enough to kick back the oppressors, huh? Just gave that land booty up. Yeah. All right, well, guys, that's where we're going to end the show tonight. Thank you, everybody, for coming on. Thank you for all the fucking super chats tonight. Fight the Flat Earth. Congratulations on all your success, man. I'm glad that you...
Thank you.
You said you broke your viewing record, right? 1.2K on Riley yesterday.
1,275 people it peaked at. That was amazing.
That's fucking awesome. I think we got up to about 500 tonight, so I do appreciate all of you guys coming in. And for the 270 who stuck around through all the fucking nonsense all the way to the end, thank you. Thank you so much. I love your ad revenue, by the way. No, I'm just kidding. I don't understand this, right?
I just want to say thank you to everybody as well. I mean, this team and I really couldn't do what we do without your support, and we fucking love you all.
Sorry, I muted my mic there for a second. Yeah, and there is some truth to that. So when I started YouTube, I had a job. I owned my own business. That was my income. I got to a point where having an income with a job prevented me from having an income on YouTube. And I made the choice to give up that one job for something that I really believe in. I believe in myself. I believe in you, Fight. We're not 1 year, one hit wonders, you know. Right now, we're both, I think you're coming up on 2 years online, yeah? I mean, on YouTube?
November the 16th, 2018 was my first video.
So, you've almost been on 2 years. You're not a rookie anymore. I'm not a rookie anymore. We've gotten through the hard part of showing that you and I can do this. Now, we're going to have to evolve, of course. You know, Flat Earth isn't always going to be the topic that we can cover, because at some point Flat Earthers are just going to stop being Flat Earthers. And yes, they're fun to make fun of. It's easy to make fun of. But you and I have a unique talent, a talent to make people smile, to make people laugh, to get fucking people who hate us to get enraged. Oh my God. We both have those qualities. And we both have a future on this platform. I'm just real fortunate that you and I have basically grown through this together. When we look ahead of time, when we both have over 100,000 subscribers, we're going to laugh at the fact that we both had 25. We both had the same amount of subscribers at one time, and we're relatively close all the way, you know, together. You know, that's just something so unique between two creators to be able to share that. And I'm really I really see this as being lucky that I have you to share my journey on YouTube with. And I'm going to be doing this forever, guys.
Thank you, dude. I feel the same. And I really enjoy having you there because, you know, I like you said this to me before, I see you as a metric. You know, if your channel is doing way better than mine, I need to fucking up my game. You know, it's not like it's a big competition, but we're a metric for each other. We're a measurement of how well we're doing within our own community. You know, and I think that means that we will keep growing together because, yeah, I've just had a massive boost of 7,000 subs because of Simon Dan, and I can guarantee that's going to make you pull your fucking, you know, shit out your ass and put out some amazing content that maybe you wouldn't have had the motivation to have that push before. And it's the same for me. When you've got more subs than me, I want to catch up. I want to be there with you, and that's a good thing to have.
Oh, hey, okay. Let's see. Glass Monster specified who TF was. I have all of Thunderfoot's contacts. We are working together. Nice. Nice. Tell him to get on Science or Satire with us. We'd love to have an interview with him, man. But, yeah, and that's another thing. Like, the other thing that having someone like you so close to me when I'm growing my channel is that I see myself as needing to be better than you, right? Not because I need to be, but that's my drive. I want to be a better me. You are a great content creator. I want to be better than that. Well, once I get past that, then you can look at me and go, he's ahead of me. Now I need to get ahead of him. And we just constantly are moving, we're pushing each other forward to bigger and bigger improvements. Just everything. The whole, like, everything about my channel is influenced by wanting to be as good as the people that I surround myself with. You know, this is one thing I've always said. You know, you take one homeless person and you put them in a group of 10 millionaires, and that person's going to pick up good habits, is going to strive to become a millionaire, is going to want to be a part of the crew. And the fact that those guys have so much money and so much success and wealth will drive him, will give him not just a framework, but will drive him, give him motivation. I see that in you. You give me the motivation to be better and to do better. I'll be on top of you again. Okay, you're going to be the bottom bitch.
I'm sure you will.
Enjoy your time at the top. That's where we're going to leave it. I'm going to stop being mushy and just get down to brass tacks. You will be the bottom bitch one day again. That is a promise. Do you have anything to say before we get out of here? Any shows coming up or any videos coming out?
I possibly will have a new video out tomorrow. It depends what time I get up because it's now 4 a.m. If not tomorrow, the next day. It's an Anthony Riley one, and then I'm working on a couple other ones as well. I'll also have a little cameo in Simon Dan's video on Friday, just a little one, to look out for that.
Okay, so YouTube search in general says, and with that, you may kiss the bride, Team Skeptic. In other words, I'm the husband, you're the not husband, okay?
Fair enough.
And with that, guys, I truly appreciate it. Y'all have a great night tonight. We will see you in a couple of days.